These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
There she was, just a-walking down the street, singing do-a-diddy-diddy-dum-diddy-do, snapping her fingers and shuffling her feet.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Folsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you, bud?
Okay.
In person.
Yeah.
It's good to see ya.
Yeah, all dressed up, wore my weekend sweatpants. You deserve it. You deserve it. You made the trip to the big city.
Thank you so much for rolling out the weekend sweats.
Getting hassled. You getting hassled yet on the streets? They see a hayseed. They go, oh, we're going to roll this guy we're going to trick him out of his watch. Have you got 3-card Monty'd yet? You're wearing a suit and like a hat, like this big smile, like right off the train.
Oh my God. Every time I come down here, I feel like a fucking hayseed, so you're not far off.
All of your possessions in a paper sack.
Yeah, and a bindle on a stick over my shoulder.
As long as no one takes the sack with all my worldly belongings in it, I'd be ruined.
Now let me put these earbuds in with noise canceling and walk wherever I want, because I'm a fucking idiot.
Hey, trouble drifter, will you watch this bag with all my belongings in? I'm gonna go get a soda.
I'm gonna go get a seltzer over at the phosphate shop.
My things
really stick out chewing on a piece of straw all the time.
Whistling with a blade of grass.
Yeah, it's every time, man. Every time I come here, I'm like, there's so many people.
Where are they all coming from?
What are they all doing?
Yeah.
Who lives in all these buildings? Where are these roads so fast?
Eventually, you'll be the one grifting hayseeds.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
that's
nice
the goal,
transition?
right? Yeah, that'd be the evolution. Oof. Go from Carson, North Dakota to
screwing over tourists in front of the Mall of America with your organ grinder and
exactly
your
with
disease-riddled macaw. Not a macaque. I'm like the little monkeys.
I've trained this toucan to steal everyone's wallets while I keep them busy with my hurdy-gurdy.
I spent far too much time looking at pictures of toucans recently. They shouldn't exist. They are spitting in God's eye. That is too much beak. I don't get it. It doesn't serve a purpose. Like, a third of your body shouldn't be beak.
You've really come out real anti-toucan right up.
I don't know, man. I'm a gay. Fuck God, man.
He gets some shit wrong. Why can't we talk about it?
Yeah, they're just out here fucking doing their thing.
They got big old beaks.
That's an insane thing for someone that doesn't like smoking dope to do. To spend 45 minutes looking at pictures of toucans and being like, that's fucking fuck, bro.
You're the only lucid person who's ever spent that much time looking at toucans.
Yeah, I think it speaks more poorly of me than it does the stoners. They're chemically induced to do it.
You ever think maybe you just miss Fruit Loops? Yeah. Like, when's the last time you've had a Fruit Loop?
Never. I mean, I wouldn't turn down a bowl, but boy, it don't make my top 10 even close.
Really? Because you like fruit cereal?
Yeah.
All fruit cereal tastes exactly the same.
Not a bit.
Absolutely. And it all tastes bad.
Fruity Pebbles is...
It's just crushed up Fruit Loops. It's the same thing.
It gets more in the main line. It's more sugary. It hits harder. For me, it is Fruity Pebbles miles ahead of the next, which would be Trix, which is marginally ahead of Fruit Loops. What am I missing for fruit cereals? That's the big three right there. I think. Yeah. I would frankly say a lot of people consider it a big two of Trix and Fruit Loops. Fruity Pebbles is definitely not as big, I would say.
I think Fruity Pebbles is going to rank pretty high on most people's list. There's people out there that'll tell you Apple Jacks is a fruit cereal, and it's like, okay, maybe letter of the law, but that's not what we're talking about.
We were never a good cereal family, so a lot of these I didn't have a whole lot of, but I was a grown-ass man. The first time I had a bowl, I had voted the first time I had a bowl of Apple Jacks.
Let me see here. Bush 1 and Apple Jacks.
Treat myself.
Apple Jacks are fine. They're like, I'm not gonna. It's not the first thing I'm reaching for, but Apple Jacks are fine.
Yeah, put them maybe slightly ahead of like honeycomb. Honeycomb is one of those cereals too. It's like, okay, sure, why not? But it's like, hey, we're actually going to get good cereal, 8-year-old Nathan, what do you want? Honeycomb isn't coming anywhere near.
Right. Cocoa Puffs every time.
Oh, I mean, I will take them, but Cocoa Krispies or Cocoa Pebbles.
You just like the just like the shape.
Yeah, it's just the crunch and the more sugar, I think.
They sog up too fast.
Yeah.
Cocoa Puffs hold their shape a little better.
You won't see me throw down on a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles. There is no time.
Ain't got time to mush. That's my favorite Jesse Ventura line in Predator.
Just watched Predator 2 nights ago.
Still good?
Yep. Fuck, is it
Still
ever?
hold up?
Yeah. I was like, you should watch a new movie. Then I saw Predator. I was like, I can't.
Sexual tyrannosaur.
Fuck, that movie's good. Just beginning, middle, end. Just fucking.
I love. I was about to say I don't know why, but I do, because it's fucking awesome. When that dude just starts mowing down the jungle with that minigun, is so good. Like, that scene goes on too long, and I feel like it should go longer.
Yeah, it's Mac.
Yes, I can never remember that character's name.
Because Blaine got cheesed. That was Ventura.
Yeah, and he just starts just mowing it down. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Got you pushing too many pencils.
Dylan.
Welcome to our Predator podcast.
I woke up. Why don't you? You're an asset. An expendable asset. And I did what I had to do to get the job done. Got it. Fucking, who plays that actor? What's his name? Carl Weathers. He fucking acts his ass off in that movie.
He's great. Carl Weathers is great.
Yeah. And Homie was ripped. That was like, those guys looked like pro wrestlers.
Yeah, they do.
Except the dude with glasses, who was Shane Black. He's just the dude that wrote a bunch of, like, you got fucking swerve in Hollywood when you're writing movies so successful. Like, hey, can I be in an action movie? It's like, fine. I guess if you're going to write Lethal Weapon 2 and make us $1 billion, go right ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they hired him to act in it. And then, like, on the side, we're like, hey, what would you do to punch this scene up a little bit? Like,
they really?
Elbow nudged him for writing favors.
I guess if you read the spec script of Lethal Weapon 1 or Lethal Weapon, usually everything is very simple. You don't want to put anything up to interpretation. You just want, here's what it is. Here's the basic idea. Here's how it goes. He was writing into it like a big house, like a mansion, like the mansion I'm going to buy when I sell this for $1 million. And he left it all in. That's how much of a cock he was, because he knew that this was solid gold. Like,
Shane Black writes great movies. Yeah. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, like Shane Black's great.
Oh, he wrote Iron Man 3, yeah.
And directed it.
And Iron Man 3 is good?
Oh, yeah.
Which one's the one that people don't like?
2. 2's, like, even I don't like 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's the villain in 2?
Whiplash.
Oh, yeah. Who's the villain in 3?
The Mandarin.
Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah.
Any other trivia questions?
No, I'm just going to say.
About Iron Man movies? Predator or Commando?
Predator. And I enjoy Commando.
I go back and forth almost every day.
Predator has that sci-fi swerve that I appreciate.
Yeah, but I think Commando is more pure.
A little more 80s cheese fun, too.
Yeah, and it has so much more steel drum.
There's a lot of steel drum.
A lot of steel drum.
Way more Rae Dong Chong, too.
Yeah.
There's a criminal lack of Rae Dong Chong. She could have played the hostage in Predator.
Yep.
She could pull that off.
Yep. Man, Commando's good.
You know where I don't think Rae Dong Chong appears?
Where's that?
The Simpsons.
Look at you. I was wondering how you were going to do it. I had faith that you would.
We have the last episode of season 25 up. It's episode number 22, The Yellow Badge of Cowardice. They're forcing that one.
Yeah, real forcing. Just call it the Yellow Badge of Cowardice.
Yeah, that would work.
Use a real word.
Well, episode begins with Bart in the house. It's the morning. He's super effing jazzed about the last day of school. I remember that energy. Just like, it's going to be a fun day. Nothing matters anymore. It's sort of the last week. I enjoyed the last week. Just no pressure at all. Fun day. They're doing like what they call field day. We called it play day.
We also called it play day, and it was not the last week. Yep. It was not the last day of school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
I don't think it was. It was like several weeks before the last day of school.
Ours was like 2 to 3 weeks before.
I think it almost served as like oh, the end of school is on its way now, like home stretch. We had play day.
And for us, it changed like K through like 3 or 3rd grade was more silly shit like these kids are doing. It was not quite as silly as this because like they're doing 3-legged races, wheelbarrow races, like
egg in a cup or egg in a spoon.
We didn't do any of that shit, but we did like
ours were all like track and field events. Yeah,
we did like a sprint, a shuttle run, a softball throw, and like a basketball shoot thing. But
we also always did the parachute, like you would. I've been told kids do that in gym class.
Yeah, we did in gym class.
That was a play day thing for us.
No, that was a
everybody lift it
and
then get underneath it.
They just had a lot of World War II era parachutes to hand out.
They had to do something with them, I guess. You spray paint them rainbow and give them to the kids.
There was no paint on ours. It was, and so I remember seeing some patches in it. It was like
bullet holes.
Yeah, right. What else would it be? Like,
is that blood?
And I remember thinking, dude, like, look how fucking big. God, that'd be something. Just a huge spray of blood
stain on it.
Yeah,
this one
vaporized by an anti-aircraft shell.
And this guy did not come home. Whoopsie doodle.
I remember thinking, like, God, these are fucking big.
Oh yeah,
like they'll take up a good chunk of a gym floor.
Yeah. I for one was not a fan of play day because I wasn't good at anything.
Yeah, I think we've maybe discussed it, but how it worked for us once we got into like 4th, 5th, 6th grade is you had to take top 6 in something because there was the local, and then the next week was the county where the other kids would come from the other schools. So if you placed in one thing, that's all that mattered because that's what you would compete in the next week. I mean, if you're a good athlete, you could compete in 5 different things, but as long as you got one, that's all they asked for you.
Okay.
But if you didn't get one, they just put you in something. Just insane. Hey, Marlon, you're going to fucking do the high dive. Like we're doing pool shit this year. And I remember, but for me, it was always simple. I was always one of the bigger kids, so I'd always just take like top 3 in a shot put. Go do the shot put, hit my hands together, that's that, and go hang out with friends. One year, I scratched on both of my attempts in shot put, so I got 0s. And I didn't make it anything else clearly. So it came like, okay, Nathan, we're going to have you run the 3rd leg of like an 800-meter like relay race. I'm like, oh, that's good for myself.
Is that the final leg?
Yep,
the anchor?
Perfect. That's awesome. And then I was like, well, I can't do this. I'm just like sitting there. It's play day. The day has come. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm just like fucking trying to think of a way out of it. I was almost going to call in, that was not my style. And then I see some movement in the football scorekeeper's building. Like, what the fuck is going on up there? And I walk back there because it was right by where all the shit was going on, but I'm probably 20 yards off. I go in there. You can tell everyone's trying to be quiet, but you can tell people that are like, look, it's where all the nerds are. They're just sitting on the floor out of eyesight. It's like, so is this what you guys do? It's like, yeah, man, every year.
That's where I would want to be.
Just lay on the floor and wait for the bell to ring. That's a good activity. Then we talked about comic books. It was pretty great. Didn't break a sweat. Always good.
There was never any kind of like I think I've said before, like we didn't have proper shot put balls, so we shot putted with softballs.
Insanity. That's ridiculous.
My school didn't have things.
It's just an iron ball.
It's just a ball. You can't get a ball?
A big ball bearing. That's like something, anything.
Not a real thing. So like play day for me was just like, okay, get last in everything, and then there's a break for lunch, and then get last in all the rest of the things.
Just
and feel great and go home.
That's great that they made you compete in everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do the floor routine. Here's your ribbon. You might have knocked that out of the park compared to some.
I actually probably could have done okay at ribbon dance, but nope.
Those other guys are too up their own ass to really let loose and let their ribbon be their emotion.
Yeah, not me. I'd have let it fly, but no, it was just a series of sprints and then go home.
Yeah. Fun. Good for kids.
Yeah, good times. Everyone else seemed to have fun.
Yeah, there was lots of giggling.
Good for them.
A lot of horsing around.
I had no time for horseplay. I was a very serious child.
I don't want to tear up the grass. They just planted this last spring.
Have some respect, guys.
That's what 11-year-olds always want to hear another 11-year-old say.
Don't throw the softball so far, and the teacher won't have to walk as far to bring it back. They're having a hard day.
Why don't we all just tie? Then we all win.
This is stressful for them. Don't throw it so far.
The big race is a final run around the school. And Milhouse confides to Bart that he's been working on this, like kind of in secret, so no one knows. He's been preparing for it all year. He even shows that he wears a prosthetic tummy.
A dummy tummy.
Yeah. I think it's Dummy Tummy by Body Lies. I think that's the company name.
And he has a six-pack underneath.
Yeah, he's cut. Yeah. So he's all excited about this. Martin overhears this news, and the bullies are running a bookie organization, and he bets 20 with the bullies on Milhouse, who's like 2,000 to 1. And then we get a quick gag. It's we find out that Willie used to be a bookie, but he lost his shack to Gunter, which we get a good Gunter appearance. I like the idea that Gunter lives in Willie's shack now.
Yeah, because Willie owes him, and that's why Willie doesn't run book anymore. Yeah. This is right after Willie puts away the pony ride pony in the little garden shack with the implication that it just stays in there sad for a year.
For 11 months and 29 days. Unbelievable. Milhouse, as expected, jumps out to a big lead, and Superintendent Chalmers is doing like the announcing as if it's a racehorse, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he has a line that says, "Milhouse, the boy nobody loves," is in the lead. Like, a thing to announce to everyone. The bullies are seeing this, and they're very worried that they're going to have to pay off Martin. So what they do, they set up, so I guess halfway through, it goes through the brush. And while in the trees, that's when they tell Nelson to attack him. So he can't win the race. And attack him he does. He tackles Milhouse, starts slapping the shit out of him. Bart runs up and witnesses it. And in a true move of cowardice, looks right at Milhouse and just keeps on running. And Bart wins the race, and kind of depressing. It's like, Jesus.
Really does him dirty. Yeah. Really does poor Milhouse dirty.
Yeah. I mean, I think like his thing is, we would just both get beat up and neither of us would win. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Bart wins the race. He's very nervous because they finally find Milhouse. He has some kind of trauma-induced amnesia, so he doesn't remember any of what happened, but Bart is still racked with guilt because he's getting all this credit for winning the race. In this B story, Homer, I think while reading the newspaper, finds out that the city is canceling the fireworks show, which he is outraged about, which it's a part of Homer's personality we really haven't seen yet, him having a hard-on for fireworks.
But it makes sense. I immediately believed it. Yeah. Like, of course Homer loves fireworks.
Yeah. He is a man that he is, every part of his fucking personality says, I like loud things that explode.
Homer appreciates pomp.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You got any hot takes on fireworks?
No, like I could take it or leave it. Like I'm not fuck fireworks and I'm not yay fireworks. Like you're never going to catch me going out to a fireworks show, but if they're going off in the distance and I can see them from my apartment, I'll be like, oh,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. That's a big thing blowing up, all right.
Like, I think if you broke it down purely logically and on paper, you'd be like, yeah, no, you shouldn't. Like, it's so wasteful, and there's the litter it creates, and it scares veterans and dogs. Like, you know, like if you looked at it purely logically, you would get rid of fireworks today. Yeah, but like, whatever.
You little Lee Greenwood singing over the top of it. God bless the USA.
Fuck that fucking song. That song is so corny. I hate that song so much. If you like, that's the song they would blare at me in Gitmo so I couldn't sleep and tell them anything that they wanted to hear. It's Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA.
I don't know if you've seen him recently, but Lee Greenwood appears to be doing his own plastic surgery.
Oh, good.
Yes, he's looking interesting. disgusting would be the way to describe it.
Oh boy.
Not going meekly into that Dark Knight. He's just.
Is it not subtle? Were I to guess?
Yes. Oh my God. His fucking hairline looks like a fucking Geiger counter at fucking Chernobyl, just bebopping all over the place. Like, oh, I don't think your hair's safe to be near.
Oh, fuck. I hate that song so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I find so much of that, like, fucking patriotic pop music shit so fucking cringy, but that one is the one.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's peak fucking U.S. dick tugging. Like, oh my God. It's just so schmaltzy, too. Look.
U.S. dick tugging is my favorite Olympic event. That's my favorite ride at the Mall of America amusement park.
So Homer decides he's going to take matters into his own hands. He's going to put together his own fireworks show.
One more. U.S. dick tugging is my favorite forgotten late 1800s president.
Yeah. Dick tugging?
Yep.
How do you tugging a
U.S. dick tugging.
Yeah. Or is it U.S. parentheses dick because that's his nickname? Or I mean, quotes dick?
Nope, dick tugging's one word.
Oh.
U period S period dick tugging.
Yeah.
President Dick Tuggin. President U.S. Dick Tuggin.
Fucking A. Dick Tuggin, DICHTAUGHEN.
Dick Taugen, like he's German.
It's like Unter. Like I think what the S would stand for. Dick Taugen. Finally, we got an ethnic man in office.
Oh, it's about time.
Ethnic? Not English, non-WASP. Holy shit, think of the fucking slogans they could use during election time.
Oh, especially back then.
Get stroked for Dick Tuggin. Oh my God, yeah. I'm trying to think who could run with Dick Tuggin.
Anybody.
Yeah, right.
Dick Tuggin and Jones.
Yeah.
Like no one's looking at whatever the other person's name is.
Yeah. So Homer, trying to set up his own fireworks show, enlists the help of a former pyrotechnician that used to set up the fireworks around Springfield that Homer remembered as a child. We get like a flashback to, he talks about like how the fireworks show was always his favorite time of the year because it was so loud he couldn't hear his parents fight, which that's
hell of a sentence.
That's depressing. Yeah. Cut to Bart at some kind of event for local athletes, some kind of like city community thing. They're all on a stage. Bart has the chance to set the record straight because they're like, here's the boy that won the race. He has the chance, but he doesn't. So it's totally right there. He almost does. You can tell he's gonna say something different than he just says like, yeah, like whatever, fucking insert something about working hard.
Yeah.
Like there's a super tall basketball player on the stage. He's from a previous episode. What was his story?
Oh, I don't think I caught it.
I think, is there one where Burns gets a basketball team and he's like the ringer they bring in?
That sounds vaguely
familiar. He's like a super tall Chinese guy or something.
Yeah, because I vaguely remember like making jokes about the uniforms.
Yeah. And Dedrick Tatum is also, he's kind of seems to be emceeing the event with all the athletes.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
No, kidding, yeah. And there's a great line where it's everyone's done speaking and Dedrick goes, and now we will give out free rubber bracelets. Do not wear them to bed. They smell like truck tires. They are disgusting. The tone of voice he says all that, they smell like truck tires is so
It's
good.
a good joke.
Oh, man. And so they're giving these bracelets out. The bullies are in the audience. They get their hands on them and they're aiming. They're going to shoot a rubber band at Milhouse. They say crotch or head. They're like, we always do crotch. Let's do head. And hits Milhouse, knocks him down. He loses his glasses. But that rubber bracelet hitting him in the face jogs his memory. And God damn it, he sets the record straight. Lets him know, this son of a bitch. I was getting my ass kicked. He did nothing for me. He just let me hanging. So now Bart's a pariah. Everyone in the audience is screaming. They're mobbing up. He doesn't give him a chance to fully mob. He gets fucking beaten feet pretty quick. Runs to the old folks home, I believe.
Yeah.
Where I liked this, where Grandpa and all the rest of the olds like, oh, we're all cowards.
Yeah.
That's how you live to be old.
Yeah.
Like,
we outlive the brave.
Yeah. They're the ones that are falling on grenades. And like Grandpa runs off a list of people that basically died to save his life.
Yeah.
So good. Grandpa's a piece of shit.
I love that they're kind of old timey names too. Like old Flop Sweat and the poor boys on Beaver Hill or
the
whatever.
Lost Platoon or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, that was good.
They show that quick flashback of him at D-Day not going with out of the boat.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Homer and the elderly fireworks guy, which do you know his name?
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe? Okay. So Homer and Giuseppe, we get a scene of them. Right away, they're going to try wheel and deal for gunpowder from Cletus, but then they end up going through a different source because Cletus's are just full of meth.
Yeah.
That's what we find out. That's
and he
the
accidentally
joke.
Sold gunpowder to the
Mexican cartel.
Yeah. I love when he's like, hey, Brandy, we're at war with the Escobars again.
Yeah.
And she pokes her head out and goes, does that mean I ain't talking to Maria no more? And he's like, you know damn well, as he's putting a snake in his bandolier.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was good.
Christ.
So they have Homer's sedan loaded to the tits with fucking TNT and gunpowder, just driving over bridges. There's we get a lot of sight gags of all of it almost exploding, but God damn it if it don't. God damn if they don't set up a hell of a fireworks show. At least it's about to go that way. They're on a flotilla.
Yeah.
Which often...
good use of flotilla.
There we go, right?
Look at you.
Often that's how they do fireworks. You do them out on the water
so
then everyone around can see. And I don't even know what gets them in a fight. Maybe what their decision, because that's where this turns. Giuseppe and Homer are there, and they're trying to make a decision how they're going to do it.
I think they're just bickering on when to start. Homer wants to start because he sees that Bart is down and wants to cheer him up now. But Giuseppe is like, no, we got to wait, for anticipation.
And he brings up a point. He's like, fireworks are supposed to begin when everyone's like this close to leaving, because fireworks shit always runs late.
Yeah.
Especially if you got kids, it should start till 11 at night. They get fighting, and that starts to tip the flotilla over. So now all these goddamn rockets, instead of facing up, are now facing towards the audience. And, pandemonium is about to ensue. The rockets are beginning to shoot off. Bart sees, is it the retirement home van?
Yep.
He sees the van. He's like, oh shit. He's like, Milhouse, get in. And they get in the bus. Just as all the rockets are about to hit the crowd, that bus, or it's kind of a, I don't know, short bus, long van, pulls it and takes the brunt.
My favorite Cake song.
Yeah, right.
Short bus, long van.
What are you looking for in an automobile?
They didn't enjoy a ton of radio success, but they have their fans.
Yeah. Unique sound.
Short Skirt, Long Jacket is maybe the only Cake song I like.
Oh, really? I got a couple. I don't
What's
mind.
the bigger hit?
They had a cover of I Will Survive, and then also The Distance.
Oh, right. I
Distance was
actively
big.
don't like The Distance.
Yeah. So the bus takes out the brunt of all the explosions. Milhouse piles out. He's about to tell the truth because he's a good little boy.
Yeah.
But Bart jumps in front of him and it's like, no, Milhouse, this is all his idea. Trust me, the boy who just lied. And they do, and Milhouse is now the hero. And then we get a weird scene towards the end. Do you remember this at all? Because it's when Bart is having, his brain is he's worrying about, he knows he fucked up and the guilt is getting to him. Early on, Maggie hands him a feather.
Yeah.
And then after, Bart's brushing his teeth at night.
Yep.
Maggie comes in and hands him another feather. And he's like, no, Maggie, I did the right thing. I'm not a chicken.
Yep.
And then he sees oh, I see. It's like her teddy bear's falling apart. He puts the feathers back in and patches it up. Here you go. And then she spits out her pacifier and starts clucking like a chicken.
Yeah. So she was calling him chicken the whole time.
It just seemed weird.
Oh, yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
These addendums at the end of the episodes are dumb.
Yeah.
But they're going to keep fucking doing them, I guess. So I don't know that I've seen a good one yet.
What'd you think? I enjoyed this.
It was fine.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
I didn't have any, strong feelings about this one. I thought the joke of Willie putting that tiny horse into that shack, god damn it.
I mean, it probably shows how few laughs there have been lately, but the laughs were fine in this one. You got that joke, the Gunter having that, the Gunter getting Willie's shack, and also the bracelet thing. They smell like
like truck tires.
Like truck tires, not just tires.
Oh, I also like when Skinner goes to start the race, he puts the starting pistol in the air and Wiggum tackles him. Gun in the school, and takes him down.
And like Chalmers looks at him like disappointedly. It's like, what is he supposed to do? You're the one that told him, like to get them on their marks, like.
And Chalmers is just like, just go. Like that's how he starts the race.
The boy that no one loves.
At some point when he's doing the race like that announcing, he's like, mentions a few kids, and then it cuts back to him and just like, and then several of the kids we never really see. Like he breaks the wall for a second.
Or describing people by their parents. So-and-so's daughter, this guy's son. Yeah,
that's fun.
Is it Lewis, the black kid? We get to hear the name of one of those background characters.
Oh, I think
it's like the black kid with blue hair. They refer to him as Lewis. It's like, boy, we don't hear his name much.
Oh, I wasn't paying that close attention, I guess.
And the twins, they're part of it too. We get to hear their name.
Sherry and Terry. Yeah. I think they bet on themselves when they were betting. Yeah. That's confidence right there.
Yeah. Like, how does it work? Are they running as a team? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No idea. We also get like Lisa not coming in, she doesn't win the 3-legged race, her and her partner. She's like, well, that's not fair. That kid has 3 legs, and it's one of Cletus's inbred poisoned crew. And he's got 3 legs and a wheelbarrow son.
Yeah. The wheelbarrow son's just one person. Yeah. And they're going to go take the winner's pictures. Don't make it weird.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. This episode is good for laughs.
Yep. I had no beef with this one at all.
You know what that does?
What's that?
That puts a bow on season 25.
Shit, yeah, it does.
Are we done, though?
Aren't we?
No.
Oh, I
watched the rest of...
Oh, shit.
I started the next season.
Oh,
I know I'm a bit of a go-getter, but...
Yeah, you are.
We are now bursting through the walls of season 26.
Ugh.
Fall of 2014. Where was Marlon fall of 2014? Doing comedy yet?
Yes. Yeah, I've at this point started doing open mics. I'd have started open mics in, I'm going to say like February of 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing comedy, have not yet been paid to do comedy. That would happen in March of 2015.
There we go.
It was the first time I was ever paid American dollars to do comedy.
Talk about your failing body.
Yeah.
To people that don't want to hear it.
I'm still doing it. That's why we're in this hotel room right now in Minneapolis, is so I can talk about my failing body to strangers.
You got to go to
money.
other states that haven't heard about it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone in North Dakota knows it now.
The degradation of your digestive system. It's really struggling back there.
Digestive degradation. Pretty fucking metal band name.
It's what took out U.S. dick tugging. They didn't have a cure for it back then. Died of consumption.
What about you? Where are you at?
God, where am I at? Not doing comedy yet. Probably in a real fucking low point in life.
Oh, good. A lot of hot stuff going on right now.
I had a shit job. I think I had sold a house and I was living in a buddy's basement, which is a theme that happens far too much in my life. Too much
you're
basement
out of it
dwelling.
now.
Yeah,
Like,
above ground, baby.
For now.
Oh yeah, life takes a lot of twists and turns.
Trying to keep you humble here.
So yeah, I was working a shitty fucking customer service job, and yeah, not thriving, if we want to put it politely.
Not starving, but not getting ahead.
I don't know if they opened a Sonic. Maybe that was the best thing going for me.
I was still DJing at the strip club right now, but that's gonna come to an end before long. I think I left the strip club in like 2017, so it's further off than I thought.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Or 20. Fuck, maybe it is 14. No, I'm still too far. I think it is 16 or 15. It's 15 when I leave.
When I bow out of the adult entertainment industry.
Yeah, when I hang up the heels.
Yeah. As for Sunday nights, we actually get a few new rando shows joining the Simpsons stable because it's been pretty stable for the last several years. We did it. We get a show called Mulaney.
John Mulaney
had a sitcom.
Yeah.
Very short-lived. Wonder, was it any good?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
His stand-up's very funny.
Mm-hmm. Another show, and I remember this far more because they pushed the shit out of it, was Last Man on Earth with Will Forte.
I wanted to like that show. To me, it just broke its own rules right away because they fucking promoted the hell out of that show. You're not
my God.
wrong.
Especially if you watched football.
Yeah, it must have had a big fucking budget, I'd imagine.
Oh, I bet it did. Oh, totally did for a sitcom.
They had to make it up.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the first episode, he meets someone else who's alive.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck this show then. I don't know. Maybe it's unrealistic to want a whole show of just Will Forte acting to no one, but that's what I was sold. I'm also not the hugest Will Forte fan. He was never I'm already not a huge SNL guy, but he was never a favorite of mine. That being said, MacGruber is super fucking funny.
I just watched it for the first time this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's something.
I loved it. Oh my God. The ghost sex scene.
Oh my God. His noises. Yeah.
Anyone, everyone should watch MacGruber.
Yeah. It's
Val Kilmer.
Yeah. We get pre-sick Val Kilmer.
Ryan Felipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's legit super fucking funny.
And the third, and for me, the most what the fuck, is a short-lived, actually, I think it got a part of a second season, animated show called Golan the Insatiable. Right?
Never once heard of that.
Right?
What?
It's and I didn't recognize any, there was no big name behind it.
Weird.
Yeah, and it got part of a second season. My note is, do you know anything about this? It's because with animated shit, I even usually, it perks my ears up enough because I like a lot of it. I wonder if this is worth a fuck.
Was anyone notable involved?
No.
From the mind of?
Nope. No big names in the voices really either,
Weird.
if I remember correctly. Oh man. One thing, you know what's not on the lineup this Sunday? American Dad.
Oh, is that gone?
If you were to ask me, American Dad is still on every Sunday.
I didn't know it wasn't.
It's been off, but you know what happened? As soon as Fox dropped it, TBS picked it up. This is in 2014.
Sure.
TBS is still making new episodes to this day.
Oh,
yeah.
They kept going.
That's some Mandela effect shit.
I had no idea.
I would have assumed they've been cranking out new episodes on Fox so we're down to one fucking McFarlane show. Yeah.
Because at this point, Cosmos is gone, Cleveland show is gone, and now American Dad.
I had no clue.
So does he have nothing to do with American Dad over on
Oh,
TBS?
no, I'm guessing he still does.
I would assume so.
I think he does some voices for that show, so I'm assuming he's still a creative entity. Yeah. For that, so what would be the other big? Bob's Burgers. That's a staple at this point. Yeah.
Man, Bob's Burgers is so fucking good.
Yeah,
that show rules.
Very good. But weird to think that show's in its 11th season now.
Yeah.
For the other, what's going on in the rest of TV? It was a pretty meh year for big shows debuting. ABC got Fresh Off the Boat and Blackish, which were two sitcoms that were on for quite. I think Blackish just went off the air.
I think so. I think that just wrapped up and got a spinoff, I think, called Grownish.
Yep.
I really love Anthony Anderson. I've never seen that show, but I've always heard it's great. Same with Fresh Off the Boat. I've heard Randall Park is very funny in that.
I weirdly had a job where I worked nights. I had a break, and the break room TV was always on ABC.
Yeah,
and I always worked Tuesday nights, so I weirdly got to watch a lot of both of those shows. Perfectly fine.
Yeah,
really good shows. This is just an example that CBS is operating on a whole other fucking planet. Two shows debuted in 2014, Madam Secretary and NCIS New Orleans. Both of them went at least 6 seasons.
Oh my God.
Madam Secretary starring Taya Leone went 6, if not 7 seasons.
Oh.
NCIS New Orleans sounds made up. That sounds like an SNL skit,
Yep.
like making fun of how many of those kind of shows there are.
Sounds like a fake advertisement in a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yep, exactly. The only show of note that I could see that no longer was on the air besides American Dad, How I Met Your Mother. It's been off the air for 8-9 years now. I wouldn't have guessed
I wouldn't have guessed it were that long, yeah.
Yeah, I would have guessed it was 3-4 years ago.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Time is meaningless.
Yeah, as we slowly go towards our inevitable demise.
I bet I watched the first 5 seasons of that show in a 2-week span.
God,
and
was
then
it worth it?
No, it's not good. Like, it's okay. I love Jason Segel and the redheaded girl from American Pie.
Yeah.
But like, it's not good.
The one episode that I watched that I enjoyed is the one where Jason Segel relives, because he's Minnesotan in the show, where he relives the Vikings losing the NFC Championship game and how traumatic it was for him.
That's funny. There's an episode where he like comes back to, I think it's Duluth he's from.
Oh, really?
Like comes back and all his brothers are also giant fucking Minnesotans. And yeah, it's a fun episode.
Jason Segel was a hell of a basketball player, which you get because he's tall.
Yeah.
But he was the 3rd string center on his varsity team because he went to high school with Jaron and Jason Collins, 2 7-foot twin brothers who played like a dozen years in the NBA each. What a thing to have happen. And we get these transfers. They might be worth something. They show up, they're a head taller than you.
And there's 2 of them. So if it were just one, you could be 2nd string.
One of those 2 brothers was the first gay man in the NBA that came out while
I
he
was
was
going to
playing.
say first known one. I guarantee there were
John
plenty before
Amici
that.
came out after he retired.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I thought you were going to have a hot take about not wanting gays in the NBA. I was like, Marlon, this is not the podcast.
Like, I just double clutched a swallow because I got kind of a cough, but you figured out.
Oh, that was a gastro head shake. That wasn't a this country's going down the tubes head shake. In my America.
You listen here.
Pistol Pete Maravich dated ladies.
Wilt Chamberlain put up 1,000.
Women and points.
Yeah. Episode 26 starts off with episode 1, Clown in the Dumps. Get it?
Yeah. Come on, Simpsons, these titles.
That was pretty lazy.
Yeah, right.
This was apparently pretty heavily marketed and heavily advertised as on an all-new Simpsons, someone's going to die.
Mm-hmm. And you might be about to hit on this. They also did a thing where there was like this Sunday of Fox programming. They overlapped with Family Guy.
Yes, this week is the Family Guy crossover episode called The Simpsons Guy, which I've seen. Have you seen
really?
that episode?
I haven't. Yeah,
where the Simpsons come to Quahog and or maybe the Griffins go to Springfield. It's one or the other. I think it's a bit of both, actually.
How do they do the animation?
It looks like Family Guy. Family Guy did the animation.
Really?
Yeah. But at this point, the shows kind of look a little alike. Outside of like specific art styles, the shows are definitely made the same way. So it probably wasn't that hard. I remember there's what do I remember from that episode? Homer and Peter eventually do like the chicken fight, like the fight that lasts way too long and is way too elaborate. That's fun. And then I think Peter and Homer get into Daisy Dukes and do a car wash at one point. Stewie and Bart's interactions are fun because Stewie finds Bart so quaint. Yeah. Like, oh, you're what a bad boy used to be. You know, you have a slingshot. And Stewie just shoots people. Yeah. So yeah, that was... I remember thinking like, this is fine. Like for something that was so like long in the works, obviously, but
like almost 20 years in the making at that point.
Yeah, a little underwhelming, but we start off with an insane time travel couch gag.
Do we ever?
I loved this. I was a huge fan of like Homer rewinding the television back too far and then forward way too far to like the year
10,000 something. Yeah. Like,
and like the Simpsons are just like shapes
that
like
exist in a void.
Vaguely look like themselves. And it says like the Sampsons up in the corner with the season number and episode title. And like Bart just shrieks about having a cow, and Marge is like yelling "consume" and "hail the moon gods." Like, it's outstanding. I loved it.
What is Lisa's thing? Is it I am Simpson?
Yeah. That's all she keeps repeating, and she's just like a blob with a mouth on a stalk coming out of her head. Insane. Like worth watching, worth YouTubing just to watch that fucking thing.
And I mentioned earlier too that I witnessed that when it first aired. It's been in the back of my head, like, when are we going to get to that? Because did I imagine that? Because that feels like a fever dream. Like,
yeah. And that's I had to look it up. That's this guy Don Hertzfeldt, who's like a Oscar-nominated short animation director, and another just obscure, fucking animation super fan.
We get a lot of that on these guest hosts.
Yeah.
It's not like someone from the Disney company, like it's not whoever did, like Moana. It's always some artsy fartsy guy, which adds a level of weirdness to it that I sometimes appreciate.
Yeah. Like they always have a different direction to take.
Yeah.
Like we've had other guest animators like Banksy or John Kay.
Yeah.
But like they're starting to get into weirdos now that
really
weird
Frenchman a while back.
Yeah, that really go for it, and I'm pretty into that. We start off, the kids are watching the Krusty roast. And of course, like, roasts would have been a thing at this time.
Yeah, this was the peak of Comedy Central resuscitating the roast.
Yeah, they were all the rage.
Yeah.
I like that Marge is like, oh, those can be pretty blue. I don't want the kids watching that. And Lisa just like calmly explains, like, listen, if you don't, we're going to go to a different parent who's going to let us watch something worse. So, and then next thing is just them watching the roast. Just calmly explains to Marge, like, listen, we can see this if we want to. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah. Is it in the introduction where they casually mention that they're cheap to produce? I like that they just point that out. Like, Comedy Central loves these because they're easy to make.
Which they are.
Yeah.
We get Jeff Ross here and Sarah Silverman, quick guest stars, as they're just dunking on fucking Krusty.
Yeah.
I like that Krusty doesn't have a sense of humor about this, because of course he doesn't.
Yeah. And I like that he points out too. It's like, I thought I'd be like good natured ribbing from my friends, but I don't know any of these people.
Right.
And that's always the thing with the modern roast. None of these people are friends. Rarely. There's occasions.
There's usually like one,
like the only ones are if it's someone in the industry, then they're all kind of pals. But like, none of these people are friends with Donald Trump. None of these people are friends with insert non-comedian here, you know, like
Flava Flav.
Yeah. Like, which I've heard comics talk about it on podcasts, how weird it is.
Yeah.
To just be insulting a stranger, like.
Yeah, it's got to be super fucking strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's not my thing to begin with, but to do it for a stranger would
so
be
weird.
Yeah, extremely weird. But at some point, like, a lot of those roasts became the dais making fun of each other, and so many of them were on all of them.
And that's when it was good, because then they were friends busting each other's balls.
Sarah Silverman and Lisa Lampanelli and Jeff Ross and Greg Giraldo when he was alive.
One of the women says one time, it's to Gilbert Godfrey, "You look like you'd smell like pee," which so is on point for Gilbert Godfrey. He looks like he'd be a shut-in in a tiny apartment and reek like piss. Like cat piss, perhaps. Some piss, maybe not his own, but like
that is true.
Like, Jesus, I laughed the first time I saw it, and he just kind of, like.
I always really loved the Norm, like when he passed away, and that started making the rounds again, like Norm's fucking genius roast.
They say you have the face of a movie star. Rin Tin Tin. It's so ridiculous. Rin Tin Tin was a dated reference in 1970.
Yeah. They say you're over the hill, but you can't be over the hill. Not with that car you drive. God damn it. When he did Marin's podcast, Marin brought it up and they talked about that, and I think that was a book of retirement jokes to make it somebody's retirement party that his dad gave him.
Really? That's great.
And he was like, I don't like being mean to people, and these are the most toothless fucking insult jokes, so I just did that. So Krusty, not into this. He's depressed and leaves the dais, not into this roast thing. Mentions on his way out, like, at least this will be over, and we'll air 4 hours a day every day for the rest of time on Comedy Central. That's funny. Goes to his dad looking for some validation, a little pick-me-up. We haven't seen Krusty's dad in a long time, the rabbi. And the rabbi kind of tells him, like, because Krusty's like, you think I'm funny, right? And the rabbi just gives him a maybe not quite for him. And then dies immediately. Yeah. Like, what a thing for Krusty's dad's last thought of his son to be, and then die. Yeah.
Who does the voice? Judd Hirsch, I believe.
Yes. Yep, that's Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch played Mark Maron's father, speaking of him,
on
Mark Maron's short-lived show.
Did great.
Yep. Oh, my God. Some of the best scenes,
Yeah. I liked Maron's show.
It was fine.
Like, I don't listen to every episode of his podcast, but if I care about the guest, I'll listen to it. But I liked his show a lot. Yeah.
I might have liked his show more than the podcast. But you're like, the podcast, so many podcasts like that, it is all about the guest.
Yeah. I also really like his stand-up. I do think Maron's stand-up is very good. If you like his stand-up and his podcast and his show, don't buy his book because you've already seen and heard it all.
Interesting. Yeah.
I remember falling into that trap once. So Krusty's dad passes away. Now we're having the funeral, and Lisa starts now looking at Homer because she sees how sad Krusty is that his dad died. And now we see Lisa looking at Homer going, oh God, I need to do something, or this day is coming for me very quickly.
There was a very, very early episode with the same theme where Lisa worried about
wanting
Homer's
to
health.
keep Homer alive.
Season 2 or 3, I bet.
And like, to the point, Homer like can't get off the church pew, and he just like with a smile is like, well, I guess my getting up days are over.
He's in his 30s.
And he's in public. Like, what the fuck, Homer?
There's a great scene during this too where they have like some kind of camera set up and Lisa's watching them in their bedroom, and it's Homer putting a CPAP machine on because early Lisa's like, I hear Dad through the wall, he's not breathing half the night,
5 minutes at a time. Yeah.
And when that video of Homer fussing and struggling with that he swallows it at one point. It's so ridiculous.
And Marge is trying to help him put it on, like, and he's like snoring along, and then just like, Jesus, that can't be good. Krusty goes to a clown psychiatrist, which is funny, just that exists. He asks him, like, how did we get here? And don't say in a clown car. That's a good joke. I like that one. And then he's doing his show, and Sideshow Mel gives that insane introduction, like, give it up for the man who's falling apart in front of our eyes, Krusty the Clown. And they're playing canned applause, like canned animation or canned sound clips for applause, and he goes, no, I don't deserve the recorded crowd noise from bygone eras or something like that. And they play it again, and you hear one kid way at the end of the applause go, I like Ike. Like, Jesus, how old your sound bank is.
That's a prime era Simpsons joke. Just a little good tag at the end.
I think the setup's a little obvious, but like, it's worth it. I do like it. So Homie just hangs it up, just retires right on the show. And this is where we get Homer with his sleep apnea machine, just just barely not dying every night. Insane. Bart gonna make Krusty feel better by just like watching all of his old stuff with him. He has just a bank of television screens like a supervillain.
Yeah.
And he's gonna just watch everything he's ever done so he can prove that he's like good and has provided something. But has the opposite effect because like he just sees himself repeating the same jokes with like barely tweaked, punchlines and stuff.
Change, but the jokes are the same.
Yeah, so all Bart did was prove that Krusty's a fucking hack, so that didn't help at all.
There's a great line earlier, too, where he's questioning his worth. He's like, past my prime, me, the voice of Ovaltine?
So good, yeah. And then after he sees all these videos, he calls out to his maid to bring my whiskey funnel. She brings in a funnel.
Stern older Russian woman.
Yeah, this stern old Eastern Bloc European lady. And she's like, you should go now because when the master is like this, it is no place for a child. And he's like, he puts the funnel in his mouth and is like, shut up and give me the whiskey or whatever he says. She goes, it's begun.
Yeah,
like,
it begins.
What the fuck?
Fuck, I forgot how good that was.
Insane.
And how Bart's just witnessing all this.
This is no place for a child. Oh my
master.
God. When the master is like this, holy shit. So he takes it to the head and falls asleep and dreams of Jewish heaven, where Rodney Dangerfield is the guy who meets you at the gates. I thought that was fun. And his dad encourages him to like, no, you're not here yet, but like you get back down there and you ought to be helping people is what is the message his deceased dad gives him in Jewish heaven. Lisa still struggling to like keep Homer alive and just sees him like behaving badly.
Yeah.
We touch in on that's an extremely B story.
Yep. Oh wow, very good point. It is definitely
barely touched upon every
like
so often.
3 minutes combined.
Yeah. Krusty opens an animal shelter, and then Homer wakes up in the hammock, and Lisa has put a hockey helmet on him, and he wakes up and like, oh, what? And he rolls out of his hammock, and he's covered in bubble wrap.
Like a foot and a half.
Yeah, like too much bubble wrap, a ton of bubble wrap. And he explains to her, like, listen, I know that you're worried, but like, you can't just cut yourself off from life. Like, life is dangerous. I might get hit by a bus tomorrow. And they have this little moment. And then Otto comes crashing through their fence with the school bus and smokes Homer, who's loaded up with bubble wrap, so he's fine.
So should we exchange insurance information? It's like, well, I don't have any. Well, I don't have any either. Well, I guess we're done here.
Sounds like we got the same company. They'll sort it out.
Yeah.
And so Lisa gets a win. Like, okay, I did help, you know. Wraps up that B story. And then Bart shows up. He's been going to Temple, and he grabs Krusty, and they head to Temple. And there's a rabbi up there who's reading the scrolls, and he was Krusty's dad's protege.
Oh, yeah.
In rabbidom or whatever. And he's up there, and he's telling jokes in between readings, and they're Krusty's jokes that we saw earlier in the episodes. Yeah. So what it is that like, yeah, Krusty's dad actually did like his jokes and passed them on to this guy to use in his, readings. So we get like a nice moment for Krusty at the end of all this.
And then Bart is like, your dad liked your jokes, you just didn't like your delivery.
Yeah. And Krusty real sternly is like, he liked my jokes, like through his teeth. That was good.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Put it a sliver below the last one, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's about where I'd put it.
Not as rough as some of the mid-season 25 episodes we made the way through.
Totally fine. Maybe not a strong season premiere, but
good point.
Totally
very
fine.
good point. We're up to episode 2, The Wreck of the Relationship. Episode begins with Bart and Milhouse getting busted watching an R-rated movie trailer.
Yeah, Red Band trailer.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what movie, because it's like a teen comedy where a party gets way out of hand. There was a movie that it's exact and
around this time.
Yeah, I just can't think of the name of that movie. We're
like Project X.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
good pull.
Why is that in there?
Yeah, that ladle was scraping the bottom.
Yeah,
there,
no shit.
There's no chunks in that soup.
So get a spatula to get the last of the peanut butter out of this jar.
And Homer happens to walk by, the door is open, and he bursts in there to put a stop to it. I can't remember what he says in slow motion as he's approaching the
brief nudity.
That's what it is. Yeah. So they get in trouble for that, and Bart just dismisses Homer's punishment. I think he tells him to clean his room because it's full of cereal bowls that are half full.
Half empty.
He's like, I can't eat the bottom half. It gets soggy.
See, they get soggy. That's what I'm telling you.
And Homer's like, you don't tell me about cereal getting soggy. Cereal I eat. But he just doesn't do it. And then Homer's stewing about it in bed. And Marge's answer, well, what I would do is I would wake up in the middle of the night, clean his room for him, and then congratulate him in the morning for cleaning his room.
Insane.
Holy shit. And Homer's right. It's like, he's gotten into your head. You're ruined, like, and so Homer decides to be a parent all of a sudden. And it comes to head at the dinner at the dining room table, like not the kitchen, the dining room. Because it's they're finishing their meals. It's like, oh, but hey, could you just eat a little bit of your broccoli? Marge is the one that asks him, and Bart's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling broccoli tonight. And
the fucking attitude of this kid.
Yeah. And Homer's like, eat your broccoli. And like he's like, hey, how about this? How about I have another glass of milk? Delicious. Hell, I gotta go. He's like, you sit back down. You're gonna eat your broccoli.
I have written right here, Bart sucks so much.
Just being such a prick.
Little asshole.
And this standoff lasts not only hours, but days. We get a couple good scenes. Is it Martin's been taking kung fu lessons all summer? He's beating the crap out of Nil. It's happening like 8 feet around in their front yard.
It's on their lawn. You
can hear it. Just the blinding speed of his chubby fists. And then it cuts to the side of Martin with one foot on Nelson's fallen body. He's like, now I wear the vest. He's got Martin or Miller. Nelson's giant vest on. So
Nelson's
good.
All beat to shit, and the other bullies are just applauding. They're scared.
Fuck, that was a good idea.
So good.
And I think actually what happens first is Homer realizes it's fantasy football draft.
Yep.
And he's like, oh no. And then when he looks at Marge so deadly serious, he's like, my username, my password, you're going to draft. I think he goes, go with God.
Yeah.
Just like
my team name is somewhere over the Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good team name.
It's a good team name.
You're using the guys first and last. And Dwayne Bowe for a hot minute was a draftable wide receiver.
Yeah, you can't hate it.
I have 22 seasons of fantasy football now. I rarely use the football pun title. Occasionally,
Why do you even play fantasy football if you're not going to have a pun in your
I
team
usually
name?
just go with something insane, like fucking a lot of blood fart and shit like that.
Shit like bad metal names.
Yeah, a lot of Actually, in one league, I have this season it started out as Mullet Head. And every year was Mullet Head 1, Mullet Head 2, always in Roman numeral. We're up to Mullet Head 22 this fall.
Like WrestleMania.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, Mullet Head 22 this fall. God, we had Son of Mullet Head in another league. that I think ran its course after like 5 seasons. Yeah, I rarely go with the punny names.
No, I was always a pun name guy,
Playing any leagues this fall?
Fuck no, I haven't played fantasy football in probably 5 years and never been happier.
Oh shit, yeah.
The older I get, the less I like football, period.
Oh, really?
Like I bet the last 2 seasons I've watched one full game of football that wasn't the Super Bowl. So I've watched 2 Super Bowls and a game.
Oh, so
in 2 years.
Sport, just losing interest in sports in general?
A little bit, but football in particular. Like,
What about the embrace of hockey?
I'm still on the hockey train, but that's new, so that's on the upswing now. But it's like
they let gay people in hockey too. I don't want to burst.
I don't have a problem with gay people in sports, Nathan.
I was like, oh, do I want to just let that sleeping dog alone?
I know you're trying to
blissfully
paint me
unaware
as this hater.
I think there's a worse word for it than hater. I don't think David Duke is a hater. I'm just so sick of these haters in Nazi Germany.
You're right. You're right.
Come on, Goebbels. Don't hate, appreciate.
That Stalin is such a negative Nelly. Oh, God.
Oh, good times. I was thinking, is it because the Saints haven't been? Do you think that affects it a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Like,
You wouldn't
I just... God, the games take so fucking long and they move so slowly, and like there's so much ad time. Like it's like too much now. Like sitting down to watch a game of football is such a fucking commitment. Like, and I'm not someone who watches TV while I dick around on my phone. And so once you eliminate that, now I need to either dick around on my phone in silence or do something else with the television. You know,
See, that's what I like about sports. There's no narrative, so I can be doing other shit. I mean, but sometimes I get too. It's like, oh fuck, they're down 14. They're kind of as a narrative. It's like, how are they down 14? They were up 10.
Yeah.
So I got to dig and see what happened. But like for me, like people like I just got a movie on in the background, like a movie you've never seen. Yeah, it's like, well, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. That's crazy.
There are people that do though. Like I never. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention. It's like, well, why'd you even hit play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do something for background noise, it's going to be music or a podcast. Like sports, it's like, if I cared about this, I would be watching it. I don't care about it, so why am I even listening to it?
Especially radio. I love radio sports. I like driving to a Twins game. I like driving to a Vikings game. Like that captures my attention far more than I'm at a point. I almost enjoy a Twins game more on the radio than
There's something about baseball on the radio.
Yeah,
I'll give that to you.
soothing.
Yeah. It's real summertimey.
Football's jarring. Like football slaps you awake.
Football's boring is what I've gotten to in my life. Yeah.
I'm still a mark.
Yeah. I'm not trying to sound like some fucking high-minded horse shit, but I'd way rather read a fucking book or do anything than watch a football game.
God, out of the playoffs this year, it's like these guys could die in game and we're going to keep watching because this product is so fucking good. Like that insane Chiefs Bills AFC championship game.
I heard it was very
where
good.
The lead changed 3 times in 20 seconds. It's like people having just fucking full on panic attacks in their full Chiefs garb. Now we're up. Now we're down. My God. Like everyone's JR when fucking Mankind got thrown off the roof of the Hell in the Cell. Like,
Patrick Mahomes has a family.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, I don't care anymore.
So I don't know if it gives us the exact amount of days, but it's been days because Homer's got like a day growth beard. They're both like exhausted, rings under their eyes.
Yeah.
And Lisa has the idea. She's like, I'm going to need the broccoli. And she grinds up we hear a blender running. She comes up with 2 fruit smoothies. It's like, okay, one of these has the broccoli in it. The other doesn't. You wouldn't be able to taste it either way.
Yeah.
Bart chooses one. Maybe he gets the broccoli. Maybe he doesn't. And Homer's like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Either way, Bart maybe drank it and you didn't give in.
Yep.
Like, this is brilliant.
Yeah. Oh my God, is it ever? And Bart's like, okay. And he's looking at the 2 glasses and then he just fucking tips them over. Bart's a goddamn devil child.
Such a huge piece of shit.
Yeah. And that's when Marge steps in and we get them in bed and it's just 2 men with masks putting a hood over Bart's head and taking him out of bed. We see several men trying to do the same thing to Homer.
They gotta wheel in a gurney.
Yeah. And Homer wakes up halfway through, but he's kind of cool with it. Just, hey, put the hood back on. I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, that's fun.
And they wake up on the relationship, which that was fucking cheesy but
name
funny.
Of the fucking sailboat.
Yeah, so they're on a sailboat in the middle of the ocean, and we kind of piece together. We see Ned with one or two of the boys.
Both boys. Rod and Todd.
There's a couple other recognizable faces. Cletus and one of his boys.
Yep.
And Nick Offerman is the captain, and he's kind of the leader, like a therapist sort.
Yep.
It's like, you were sent here.
Therapy via boat operation.
Yeah. Sailboat operation. And they're out there. It's very therapy based. We're going to talk about things. We're going to do this through teamwork. We'll settle our problems, you know, because Jesus Christ, I bet running a sailboat is a goddamn chore.
Yeah.
Think of that. Like
even you see people do like modern small sailboats, seems like a fucking 3-man job. This is like a pirate ship. This is like a huge boat.
Crossing a fucking ocean in a boat that doesn't have a motor.
Nope.
What if the wind stops?
What if a million things, Nathan?
Yeah. Oh my God.
What if the Kraken? Insanity. As soon as this started, I immediately, when they woke up on the boat and we get introduced to Nick Offerman's character, I had a question, and an angry one at that gets answered at the end of this episode.
And while they're at sea, Marge realizes that she's still logged into Homer's fantasy team, and she is getting fucking dunked on, because we get it when she does come back during the stand-up. She's like, homie, I did so great. I drafted you 5 kickers. It's called football for a reason, right?
Yep. And she's so happy with herself.
And it's like Lenny and Carl and like other people are in the community that are all in Homer's league are like dunking on how terrible Homer's team is. I think Moe threatens to kill him.
Yep. Everyone's trash talking, but Moe goes too hard.
I kill you, holding a knife in his picture.
Yeah. Hibbert's in the league. The Lovejoy is in the league. Like all the men in town are in this fantasy football league, apparently.
So Marge is just appalled with that amount of shit talk. She's like, these guys are so mean. I think she's like talking to one of the other women about how awful it is.
Her quote to Lisa, which is so insane, is, fake computer football is no excuse to use the internet to be mean.
Yeah. That is a good line.
It's so amazing. I like that she has no concept of what trash talk even is.
Yeah. Like Lisa,
she's so confused.
Yeah. Like, why would you? To her, being mean is never an option.
Why would Lenny say these things?
Yeah. So back at sea, Homer is in the sick bay with scurvy. Because of course he is. He's an unhealthy man. They got him sucking lemons. I think they got him in the lemon barrels.
When's the last time you had citrus? I had mimosa a couple years ago. Jesus. This is after, like, maybe my biggest laugh of the whole week, when they're all sitting in a circle, like, having like group therapy, and instead of like the talking stick, whoever's holding it gets to talk. He's got an accordion, and who's ever holding the accordion talks, and it's such a dumb physical gag. But Homer, the captain's like, now you, Homer, and he hucks this accordion at Homer, and it smashes him in the face, and he flies overboard. It happens so fast and is so fucking well animated, because the accordion like wraps around his head because of the physics of an accordion.
Fucking heavy an accordion. That's not a throwing thing.
That's a 30-pound musical instrument.
Like, hey, he's like throwing a bag of softener salt at somebody. Like, hey, think fast.
I laughed so hard at that. That was a like hit the rewind 10 seconds on Disney Plus. Like, hang on, one more time.
So while Homer is riddled with scurvy, Bart is kind of taken to sea life. Which I guess that in my head that just means getting good at knots. But you know, there's other things, you know,
and
climbing, knowing what all that shit means.
You good knot man? You good knot tire? No,
I mean,
me neither.
You know what I tie a knot? You know what it looks like? The same one you do in your fucking shoelace.
What's wrong with that?
Got a big loop.
Do they make other knots?
Yeah, right. And I was a Cub Scout briefly. I don't think we got to that part of it.
Boy, real briefly.
Yeah,
then,
right.
From what I understand, they're mostly
70% knot tying. Yeah. So Bart is really taken to it, and he eventually becomes captain of of the whole, or not the captain. He becomes like
midshipman.
There we go. All those weird.
It's like
terms.
associate manager or assistant manager.
Yeah. So now that means he's in charge of Homer, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I want the Marge thing is so good.
This Beast story is so good.
She is still steaming about all this. And then we get like the NFL Films music and the gritty voice giving like the narration of what's happening. And she uses kind of like an unorthodox series of like hints and clues on how to win in fantasy football. Like I'm trying to think of some examples. Like something that a mom would think of that a fantasy football person wouldn't.
Oh, she watches like Real Housewives of Tampa Bay and sees that the one
got kicked out of the house.
The wide receiver gets thrown out because he bought his wife the wrong color convertible. Mm-hmm. And the line, because they're watching the episode, when she kicks him out of the house, points at this beautiful yellow exotic car and goes, "That don't match my phone."
Yeah.
Very funny. Very funny.
And so she uses all these random tips and tricks to fucking win her fantasy football league.
All presented in NFL films. Yeah. It's so good.
Which then the voice, and Marge was victorious, proving once again that fantasy football is mostly luck.
Yeah.
Which, that's why fantasy football is so popular, is you can win. If you just, the right circumstances happen, the shittiest person in your league can win.
Yeah. Also, like her and Lisa were studying climate change, like the high winds were gonna.
Lisa helped.
Yeah, like made her kickers be worth something because they're kicking like 85-yard field goals.
Yeah. Which is like because she has all those and we cut to Mo like what? Because what an 85-yard field goal. That was always like I don't know, maybe since you haven't played in a while, the new in vogue thing is no more kickers in fantasy football because of oddball, like some rando dude kicked 4 50+ yard field goals and all of a sudden your kicker is 1/3 of your team's points.
So what's wrong with that?
It's the real. I lean in favor of you because I am a fan of having some statistical variety is nice, but the real heads, the ones that are fucking crunching numbers and shit, they're like that's it's just luck. That's the fucking easy prize for the fucking.
Fuck that. Yeah. No, you play with your kickers.
Or lose kickers and lose defense is also very popular.
Why play fantasy football?
It's all skill position.
Like
baby.
why even participate in this thing?
It's still I get it. I prefer traditional, but I get what they're saying. I totally do.
That's no, fuck that. It's part of the thing.
Yeah.
That's like me being like, boy, I sure like Super Mario Brothers so much that I've decided to take out all of the lava and Goombas.
Well, no, I think it's like if you like Mario Brothers, but you don't like the water worlds and you warp whistle past them. There we go. We've got some Mario logic here. I totally get it, but I just because I'm in a league where a couple guys always bring it up, and it comes to a vote, and I always like, nah, let's keep kickers. For me, what it does is it keeps the people that aren't nerds about it. It's like, well, if you just do that, it's just going to be you guys will win more. The people that put more
that's
effort,
why they want to do it.
The people that put the effort in will win more, which I get, but it's like I also like this because it's fun. I don't need it to be uber competitive, you know.
Right. Like kickers and defensives do add a wrinkle to it because it's hard to predict, and sometimes they can go off big like they shouldn't, and but like that's part of the thing. You fucking nerd. You can't just boil everything down to this gray, perfectly square box that this fits into.
Who was the kicker that played for the Patriots and the Colts for 25 years?
Fuck.
Adam Vinatieri. I had Vinatieri. This is a dozen years ago. I had Vinatieri on my team. He kicked like 4 field goals and threw a touchdown on a trick play.
Nice.
So I got like 34 points. I had beat the number 1 team. The outrage. Like, how does that happen? Like, I don't know, man. But pretty cool though, right? Adam Vinatieri, South Dakota boy.
Oh yeah.
His family story is an interesting one. He was I think he was the drummer or the bugle player in Custer's band. or in his military, you know, the do. That's how they used to fight wars.
Yeah.
And him and another guy got shit house the night before the big going to fight Little Bighorn.
Yeah.
And they showed up an hour late to everything. So they're packing the horses up and shit, and they stumble out drunk. It's like, you know what your punishment is? You and him are gonna stay here. You're not going to get to have one bit. You're not going to get to savor victory. You're not going to be able to brag to your friends that you're part of this monumental victory. And I don't know if you're a history buff, listeners, but Custer and the gang got their shit pushed in at Little Bighorn. Because I heard it is like, my great-great-grandfather's alcoholism is why I'm here
It's why
today.
I exist, yeah.
Because he lived long enough to meet a woman and have kids, and here I am.
That's why I wasn't butchered in Montana.
Yeah, think of that. Yeah, I bet they were so just devastated too until word got back. Oh yeah, homies are all dead.
Oh yeah, no survivors at Little Bighorn.
I think weren't there just like a handful that just fucking yeeted the fuck out of there?
Yeah,
like,
it was
very few. Like
very few.
What it probably was the guys that saw the writing on the wall. Like, hey,
fuck this.
I don't like fucking Custer wanted to run for president. That was his whole design. Like he was going to become a famous general and be president. He's like, I just want to get home. Like, imagine being from Delaware and dying in the middle of nowhere in Montana.
No, fuck
like, what?
that.
Yeah, I get paid $1 a month. Like, whatever they got paid back then. All the hardtack I can eat. This is not that great of a gig.
No, hard pass.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why Adam Vinatieri's here. So Bart now is in charge. Homer is somehow drunk.
He brought a flask. He snuck a flask.
So great, because we get good. Cause it's a good turnabout is fair play type deal. Because Bart is now trying to get Homer to do shit, and Homer's like, "No, I can do shit. I don't like it here."
Yeah,
because that's the big beef. Homer's pouty too that Bart likes it
and is good at this. Yeah.
Because Homer dislikes every minute of being on the boat. So we're getting like, oh, finally now Bart gets to see what it's like to have someone that doesn't respect you at all.
Yeah.
And he's wasted. And then we find out that Nick Offerman's captain character became a captain and got into this line of work because he was a crippling alcoholic before. And of course, Homer gets him back on the fucking...
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do to a person.
And he gets shithoused.
Like a fully clean and sober recovered alcoholic. And
So
Homer just
ridiculous.
gets him shithouse.
So now he's so drunk, he's just incapacitated. Like,
Yeah.
He can't help him with shit anymore. And sure enough, a huge storm is a brewing. And we get like, oh no, what are we gonna do? This and that. Like, and they're, hey, Captain, what's your advice? And he's just fucking talking nonsense. So Bart, now midshipman, he decides to take the reins. He's gonna steer them. We just got to get around. They got to get around a little island with a lighthouse. It will be safe back there. And there's all this case. And Homer's like, no, drop anchor and we'll just ride it out. We'll ride this storm out. And there's all this tension in the air. And that's when Bart realizes he has to do something to win Homer's trust. We get this moment of him staring into Homer's eyes and his fist rises. He opens his hand and there's the broccoli.
Yep.
I've been riding with him the whole time. And he eats the broccoli in front of Homer. And Homer's like, okay, thank you. You do what you think you
The broccoli that Lisa put in a blender earlier.
Good point.
Okay. I guess he got it from somewhere else, but why would he do that?
Right.
Okay. Go off, Simpsons.
Yeah. And Bart does lead them to safety, gets him back into the bay. I never thought of that. Of all the things that are perishable you can have on a sailboat, I don't think broccoli's high on the list.
A tough one to try to bring with.
Oh my God.
Maybe it was on the boat. Let's say it was on the boat.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Homer and Bart are chums again. And what I thought was a nice touch, Marge and Lisa and Maggie are waiting for them. And they're all happy. Oh, I hope this helped. It did. This and that, this and that. The goddamn sea captain. Oh, sounds like you boys had a hell of an adventure on the open sea. I'm sure you just forgot to invite your old friend, the sea captain.
Certainly you wouldn't do this without the sea captain.
And they just fucking run away. I think sea captain, yar, that's gonna sting a while.
That was my legitimately angry question when we meet Nick Offerman earlier. Why isn't this the sea captain?
Yeah. Oh man, that's them whoring themselves out to get a celebrity voice.
You could have had Offerman voice somebody in the next one.
Yeah, you're right.
You did a whole episode at sea.
That's cruel. Yeah. Remember how much he was used in like seasons 3 and 4 and 5.
At least they addressed it at the end of the episode. Yeah. But you could have just not. You could have done the right thing and put the fucking sea captain in the boat episode.
Make a joke about how, like sea captain doesn't pay what it used to. He's got to, he has had to pick up side work and now he's a therapist.
Now it's a therapy boat. Yeah. Like that's all it takes.
But nope, I got to get someone famous in here.
Yeah.
But a fine episode.
I like this episode. Yeah, it was.
We haven't had one that I was like, ugh, and we had a lot of ugh in season 25.
Yeah. The Marge B story is so good.
Yeah.
Her just not understanding trash talk is so funny.
She's just so hurt by it.
Why would Lenny say that? Yeah. It's so good.
Like question, like even like taking apart the comments piece by piece. Like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I did like that one. Probably my favorite of the batch so far. Does it get better? I don't know. Is there one I like more?
Keep listening to find out.
Let's find out. Could it be episode 3, Super Franchise Me?
Oh, boy. They're really reaching with these titles this round. Oof.
I had to look up the couch gag because I didn't recognize it. Did you? It's the album cover of Cat Stevens' Tea for the Tillerman.
Yeah. I recognized that it was Cat Stevens singing, but then I was like, why is the art weird? And you're right. Jesus, that's a deep.
How deep is that?
Because it's not like that's an iconic 20 albums you must hear before you die.
And it's not iconic album art. Yeah. Like it's not Appetite for Destruction or The Wall.
Wow, yeah. What a weird thing you can tell this show's written by fucking baby boomers.
Yeah, no shit.
Creaming their jeans off of a solid, if not spectacular, Cat Stevens album. Tea for the... Vaginas dry up and tea for the Tillerman. Like, what a fucking was navel gazing. Oh my God.
You don't think there's a lot of real passionate.
Yeah, right. There's no fucking rhythms. There's no fucking, no good fucking good bass drum. No bop, bop.
I've never caught it in the background in a porn or anything.
Did you ever play that at the strip club?
No, I never played Tea for the Tillerman.
Stevens
Holy shit.
Oh my God. Eddie, play Cat Stevens hits at the strip club when we could.
We would put Cats in the Cradle.
Yeah. That's not Cat Stevens though. That's Harry Chapin.
Oh.
What was Cat Stevens' hits? Now
Didn't Cat Stevens do a cover of that song?
I don't think so, yeah. Oh man, Peace Train. That was Cat Stevens.
Oh boy,
yeah. God, that'd be a good strip club song. There's like some clapping in it. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I'm sure there's already a list compiled of the best or the worst hit songs that could have been played at a strip club. The one we've seen in The Simpsons is a Janice Ian's. I learned the truth at 17. Someone's stripping to that.
Oof. That'd be tough.
Yeah. It worked for that one. I had to go use the John. I just put my Spotify on shuffle. But kind of dour lately. Sorry, gals.
Cat Stevens does not make strip club music. Cat Stevens is the anti-Rob Zombie.
Yeah. God, Rob Zombie will always deliver strip club music.
Oh, yeah. That is music to get naked to. So we start the episode. Ned, I feel like I say this about every side character. Haven't seen much of him lately.
Well, I don't know. We had a good run with him in the last season or two. So? With the Edna shit.
But we barely touched on the Edna shit.
Yeah.
Like, we saw him sitting in a chair looking sad that one time. Like, that was the Edna shit.
I think what I think about is, well, no, we had the ones where they kind of first dated and shit.
True, but that was longer ago than you think.
But what I think about it, how fucking old were you the last time we had a goddamn fucking Apu episode?
Yeah.
You were 2 years younger than you are now. COVID was a real terrible thing. Like,
That's what I'm saying is all the side characters, you know, like we just saw the sea captain get kicked aside. You know, we have what's Apu doing? What's Ned doing? What are any of these characters doing anymore? We never see them. Fucking the Simpsons are just mooching off Ned's power.
Yeah.
Like, and Ned goes to all the work to unplug everything and turn off all the breakers, and his meter's still spinning. Yeah. And it's because fucking Homer is operating a miniature Ferris wheel in his backyard.
So good.
Via a 110 electric extension cord.
I'm trying to think who's all on it.
I think it's the 3 kids.
And Santa's little helpers.
Yes,
I like that too. Yeah, the dog gets to
get the dog in the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And then so Ned, good on Ned, comes over and like, hey, come on, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And is like, is that it? And Homer has to lead him like, come follow me.
Yeah.
And Homer has a giant chest freezer filled with meat that he says is for in case like the world ends, but we still have electricity.
Yeah.
Which is so good. It's so dumb. And not only is he powering it with Ned's electricity, but it's Ned's freezer.
Yeah. And Homer has the gall to like chide him for the way he talks. Like we get peak shithead Homer.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, Ned, kick the shit out of him in his own driveway.
Absolutely. Ned takes back his freezer, but leaves the meat. So now the meat is starting to thaw. What are we going to do? And Marge is like, I'm going to make sandwiches, which doesn't solve the problem because like then what are you going to do with them? You just lost your freezer.
Yeah.
It is a chest freezer. That is a full beef.
That's a ton of meat.
Oh, my God.
What's the music playing during the montage of Marge cooking and preparing the meat?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember that there is one.
Yeah, I just can't think of what that's from.
But, I mean, that's not helpful at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the spaghetti western music.
You're right.
Ecstasy of Gold.
Yep, you're right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Because I remember struggling with it at the time, being like, fuck, what is this? Because it's not like it's the super early notes of it, you know,
before it really
picks up. Yeah.
That's exactly it though.
Who's that composer? Morricone? Ennio Morricone. Someone's yelling at their phone. I'm pretty close, for sure.
U.S. Dick Tuggin.
Yes. U.S. Dick Tuggin plays the hits. So Marge makes sandwiches. She's like cooking them up and having Homer taste test them, and she shakes her head. And like Homer is he's like a concerned dad waiting outside the delivery room. He's like really sweating this as that music plays. Yeah. It's very good. So Marge makes, all these sandwiches. There we go. I solved the problem.
Cuts all the crusts off.
Yeah.
You're babying these people too much, Marge.
Yep.
That scene of Santa's little helper all full of bread crusts.
He's so round. I fed bread crust to the dog. And Homer has a bowl full of bread. Or is it Marge? No, Homer or Bart with somebody. Is just, you want some more bread crust, buddy? And the dog keeps eating because dogs don't know when to stop eating.
Lisa mentions that, like, and then the fact that he's just stuffed. And then when Lisa mentions that, and Homer stops, he does have a little smile on his face. Like, that's true. When dogs know when to stop eating, don't they?
Will a dog eat until it pukes? I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't have enough dogs growing up.
I'm not sure if dogs will do that.
If you're listening, overfeed your dog and see if it barfs.
I can't recommend that. You're going to get somebody being like, it's dead now,
you happy? You son of a bitch.
Wanted?
Biscuits is dead. I gotta call a kid and talk to him on the phone. I'm sure sorry what happened to Biscuit. My mom says you did it. Why did you kill Biscuits? Biscuit seems like a nice boy.
Why would you do this?
My bad. I don't want Biscuits to die.
Oh God. Whew. We're kind of wrapping up a day. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same day, but probably not. Several days later, we're wrapping up the day, tucking Lisa in. She's like, I need like a dozen sandwiches. And Bart comes in with a huge suitcase, like fill it up, and the garment bag. Like
the garment bag was good.
That was funny. And Marge is like, why do you kids? She goes, why do you kids need so many sandwiches? And then maybe. So I know I said this in the last episode, but maybe my biggest laugh of the week, it's maybe a close second, is Marge goes, why do you need all these sandwiches? Are you eating your feelings? And Lisa goes, no, when I get angry, I just harmlessly vent to Maggie. And it smash cuts to Maggie in her crib, wide-eyed, super fast, sucking on her pacifier, just traumatized. So whatever Lisa's having troubles with, I just harmlessly vent to Maggie. And Maggie is freaked out.
I like the gag too, where Bart's like, "Well, that's this is the new currency. We use this. It's like it'll replace cigarettes." It's like
bubblegum cigarettes.
Yeah, sure,
yeah.
That tone of voice was good.
This episode aired in 2014. When's the last time a bubblegum cigarette was sold in a store?
You got to go to like a place that specializes in silly old candy.
Yeah.
Which, the average age of the person in that store is 77.
Yep. They're there for blackjack gum and
yeah, cowtails.
Man, cowtails are so good. I'll eat a cowtail every so often.
No. We differ on that. I'll fuck a cowtail, but boy, that's not even top 30 things I would reach for.
Probably not for me if I really put together a list, but every once in a while, that's exactly what I want.
I'm such a chocolate slut. I'm just such a basic bitch chocolate slut. You'll get a little fruity. I did not mean that in a disparaging way.
Oh, now who's the...
right now I can't...
Now who's the hater?
Now I'm going to get emails from David Duke.
Yes, I am primarily a fruit boy when it comes to my candy.
I did fuck up a box of Mike and Ike's recently. Good God, a Mike and Ike's a tasty treat.
Yeah, they're no dots, which two different things, but on the same side of the color wheel.
I like a harder shell.
Yeah. I like a Mike and Ike.
Yeah.
I like the grape ones.
Cherry and Bub? No, that's the.
No, those are the red ones.
Yeah.
There's purple ones specifically that are real good. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah. More insight from your friends at America's Rally Basket. There's candy, they're grape, or blue.
The purple ones
probably taste good.
I don't give a fuck.
I often fall asleep when I eat candy. I get tired.
You and I both just individually trailing off as we talk about candy. And then it's 40 minutes of us snoring is what
then one of us starts choking on the fucking half-chewed maw full of goddamn dots we got. The catching our breath. Yeah. So episode 13.
I was about to say real troublesome snoring probably. Actually.
Oh my God. That would, that'd make people sad.
I like that in this fictitious thing that happens, that's what the listener is hearing, meaning that I left it in and uploaded it and produced it that way.
Yeah. The American needs to hear this.
So the kids use the sandwiches as currency at school. This is where we meet, I didn't get her last name, but a woman named Trudy who sells Marge on opening a sandwich franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you really should franchise. So gets her in on this. I love this because the rest of this episode plays out like it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. John Oliver did that story about Subway franchises and how shitty they are, and they are shitty for these reasons. And it is all the reasons covered in this 8-year-old episode of The Simpsons. like franchising fees, the merchandise they make you buy from, the franchise, and the fact that they will open up another one right across the street and not give a fuck. Like this
That's
all
wild.
this is all stuff that John Oliver talked about a month ago.
So shady to do to somebody.
Yeah. Assholes at Subway. I also think it's weird that Marge, you made really good sandwiches. Open a franchise where you don't make the sandwiches.
We're sending you things.
Flawed logic from the get-go.
Yeah, very good point. I never thought of that.
I was like, okay, someone wrote on a board, Marge opens a Subway, and how do we get there? And we picked a bad way, I think. Yeah. But we got that line about Lisa venting to Maggie, so everything's fine.
It's like, how about just hey, you made all these sandwiches. How'd you like to get paid to make sandwiches?
Yeah, and she opened, but then you don't get franchise jokes, which is what they're really going for here. So Marge opens up a sandwich shop. Krusty shows up to intimidate her. I like that he immediately tries to strong arm her out of the neighborhood. We get her interviewing Gil and Shauna and Frank to work here.
We haven't had a good Gil speaking part in a while.
This is the most Gil we've gotten in 15 seasons.
Yeah. Gil talking about that he's wearing the suit that his dad committed suicide.
Unbelievable. My dad was a self-made man. He started in the mailroom and worked his way all the way up to where he threw himself off the top floor of the building in this suit. Yeah. Jesus, Gil.
The fact that Gil's moonlighting other jobs too,
he's doing he's handing out flyers, but he's also handing out strip club cards. He's like a card clacker at Vegas, and he's got a sign on his back for a different business down the road.
So good,
Jesus, Gil.
What kind of debt is Gil in? He's always struggling.
I would watch a show just about Gil,
like a gritty drama.
Yeah, like the Better Call Saul, but Gil. Give me that. So Marge is super nervous for opening day, but it goes well. Things are going all right. She's struggling with the franchising thing. Has to fire Shauna pretty immediately because Shauna openly takes money out of the till.
I like how Shauna makes the squeaky voice teen quit.
Yeah. Oh, you're firing me? Well, then he quits and shows him a bra strap.
Yeah. That's what holds him up. That's a good line.
That's a good line. It's a very good joke. So now they're down to two workers, but Homer steps up just as fucking Chief Wiggum orders a party sub for himself, which we touch on again later. It's very funny. Yeah. Homer steps up, and the kids are working there too, and Gil has goddamn bird legs.
We see because he's changing.
He's taking off the costume, and she assumes you are working two jobs, assuming that he's also about to change into his chicken costume. He's like, no, those are just my legs. I'm not a well man.
When he says I'm not a well man, the voice is so good.
Unbelievable.
I'm not a well man.
Legit chicken legs, two
talons,
two up front, one out the back. Unfucking believable, Gil. So now the kids are working at the sandwich shop too. Marge has to fire Gil because, of course, Gil can't be happy. And that's when another sandwich shop opens right across the street. Not a competitor, the same brand.
With Express in
but
the
it's
title.
an Express. Yep. So now they've cannibalized their own franchise store because fuck you. And so now the store is not doing well at all. Mr. Burns comes in and sees that standee of that sandwich mascot and is like head over heels for it, and then it falls down and he's like, bring it and put it with the others. Not the best Mr. Burns ever, but
very good point. Not the best at all, but god damn it, it's a drink in the desert, we so rarely get to see him.
We'll take Burns wherever we can get Burns. And Marge is all stressing out about this. They're all fucking killing themselves to keep this goddamn sandwich shop open. And she goes, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to Moe's. Yeah. Marge at Moe's with her hair down.
Drunk.
Yeah. Just wasted. Mo calling her Midge. I don't know why, but I always like that. At some point in here, also, we get Wiggum coming out with a fucking 6-foot party sub. And Lou is like, I don't know who you're kidding with this 1 sandwich a day diet, Chief. And he goes, it's whole wheat, Lou. It cleans out your insides.
You know, it's funny that the other cop never blossomed into a character at all.
Yeah, like I kind of like it. Like I hope they don't change it.
He's
now,
just a one-word guy, you know. Like
even then, I think even one word is pretty rare lately.
Chief. Yeah, you got it, Chief.
Yeah. So what they do is like Mo tells Marge, listen, I know how to get you out of this, but you're never going to be able to work in the fast food game ever again. Just know this, I can get you out of this. And so they set up a fake accident where Homer comes in with a mustache and a suit, and he's like, I'm a very litigious businessman, and I need a cup of coffee. And Bart, quote unquote, spills coffee all over Homer's crotch, and then is like, Lisa goes, get the first aid kit, and Bart comes running with the first aid kit, trips, and like all of these syringes and a scissor all stick into his crotch. And then he turns, the franchising lady, Trudy, is there, and he's like, I was just on my way to become a crotch model. Like, and he threatens to sue.
I like when they call for the first aid kit. Is it Lisa that's like, we need a Florence Nightingale? They got like a restaurant speak for it,
out orders,
which is longer syllable wise than first aid kit.
Yep, absolutely.
And what does, after all the needles and fucking all the shit stuck in his crotch, Bart hits him in the crotch with something else too.
Yeah,
like
he
one
does.
last hit.
I forget what it is. Is it the box?
Yeah, I think it is. The first aid
in?
kit box. Jesus Christ. Just get another shot in there.
Had to get one more. So he's like, oh, I'm going to sue you. And Marge points out that, like, well, none of these employees are trained properly. So this is your guys' fault, not mine. And then agrees, like, if you just give me my investment money back, I'll take the hit on this big lawsuit that isn't real.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. So she releases them from the franchise, and they all then go hang out in the park, which is that pointillism painting.
Yeah.
Like from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
There's a name for whatever that painting is, but the people at the park. And like real briefly before it like zooms in and we start the actual scene of them all sitting there, it just kind of hangs there for a second. It's that painting with the Simpsons. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of cool with this too. This like quick little reference just in the episode for no reason. I was like, okay, that's neat.
And is that the end of everything?
We get like a dumb addendum like we always get, where it's the history of the first sandwich.
Oh, so pointless.
And it's caveman Homer hunting a giant sloth, and it goes too long because they're both slow.
Yeah.
And then like eventually he finally gets them, and then it cuts back to them at the museum of the skeleton caveman Homer holding a sandwich, and Homer being like, sandwich. And that's it. I don't like those, but I assume they're here to stay.
Kick that shit out the door and add 90 seconds more jokes throughout the episode.
Run the whole intro every time.
Yeah.
Like whatever you gotta do, man. I'd rather watch the intro that I see every time. Rather than these. They're not good.
Episode itself, though, this might be my least favorite of this batch.
It's close. I think you're right. Like that fucking eating your feelings joke is real funny.
And a couple decent pops.
But this is probably my least favorite of the batch. It's
some good Gill's legs.
Yeah, we do get good Gill.
Yeah, maybe it's on par with a couple of the other ones we've had.
But it's...
the sandwich seemed forced,
And it takes too long to get there. And the logic of how we get there isn't good. Like, I don't know. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Episode 3? 4. Fuck, that yours was 3,
Yep. Here we go. Let's do it. That's the fucking Tone Loc right there.
Let's do it.
No, keep beatboxing. Do not stop.
Is that Wild Thing or Funky Cold Medina? Let's do it.
Wild Thing.
Yeah.
I think.
They're very similar.
They're the same
I've never
song.
thought of that. They are, yeah. Just fucking Funky Cold Medina. Okay, episode.
I might leave that in.
Episode 4, Treehouse of Horror 25.
Here we are.
At this point, we kind of get either a very involved opening or a
Brief one.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the briefest ones.
Yeah.
It's kind of supposed to be, I think, like the Cavalcade of Stars, where they're announcing, that used to be a thing on TV kind of before our lifetime. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, if you're on ABC, you march out every one of your TV stars and make them fucking competitive row or something like that. Something no one wants to see. But all it is we get a curtain opening and it's all these huge celebrities nailed, is shaped as Treehouse of Horror letters. Is it supposed to be John Travolta that they cut to?
I think so.
Why are you doing this?
And I think it's one of the aliens doing the voiceover.
Yep, it's Klaudos or whatever the hell their names are.
Kronos.
Yeah, and
Kang.
One is a single syllable. Yep. So that we get Treehouse. So it bursts us into the stories pretty quick. The first one is School is Hell. Bart, being Bart, ends up getting sentenced to detention where he's alone, which that's weird detention. Usually,
Yeah, it's just him.
it's usually a handful of it's a motley crew of miscreants, but he's looking around, just bored. He's just basically walking down, like a little kid thing, walking by a row of desks and just hitting them all with a ruler, just letting that ruler, like you do with a picket fence with a stick,
Yep.
in places where they have them. I've seen it on TV. All of our wood got the blight. We didn't have enough wood for fences.
We ain't got wood. We had to burn it all.
Just piled up horse corpses for fences.
That's what we make our fence posts are made of horse bones. Boy, if you moved into a new neighborhood and the neighbor had a horse bone fence.
It's all just stacks of old swather tires. It's more of a mosquito factory than anything. Those standing water and those.
I'm a majority shareholder in off.
Malaria in this county is worse than it is in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, but I own half the DEET in the state, so fuck you.
It all pays off. So while walking past the desk, he sees a desk that has like cryptic symbols on it.
Wow.
I think he touches it, it burns. He's like, oh, Jesus. So, of course, he gets Lisa involved because Lisa's smart. And Lisa's able to figure out what language it is.
She translates it on her iPad using the app iRunes.
Yeah. You can read them ruins.
I was like, okay, guys, iRunes is pretty fun.
Yeah. And well, this is what it says. And they read it and they end up getting taken by a big fiery hand to hell.
Yeah.
And I will say right now, it's my favorite animation we've had in a minute.
It's real good. Looks real good this whole episode.
It's all the shit that they see when they're in hell. Because it's hell school is what it is. Hey, you're the new kids. Let me show you around. So they're getting pointed out. Everyone's a weird kind of monster. Bart and Lisa have like those backwards goat legs and horns.
Yeah. There's a kid as they're walking down the hall. I thought a nice reference. There's a fat kid in one of the rooms getting
Force-fed donuts. Like Homer did in like the first or second one.
Yeah, I liked that. I like that we got that one. I like that the one kid just has a torso that's a giant mouth
Screaming torso. We have this. We have a screaming torso.
Yeah.
And they just cut to that kid's screaming torso.
It's fun. I like that was like a point at the screen when I saw the donut thing. I was like,
and I like they get confronted by some mean girls, and Lisa throws some sass back at him, like, "Oh, you want to hang out with us?" And she's like, "Sure." Yeah, then it starts snowing.
Yeah,
it's a easy joke, but it was good. Like,
yeah, it's a cold day in hell. I got invited to do something.
Yeah, and Bart, so now Bart's kind of alone. And he just goes into class. We also have a two-headed Chalmers Skinner demon thing.
Like they run hell school together, but they're just a big two-headed monster. Mm-hmm. And Chalmers, I think Bart talks back and Chalmers shouts, "Skin him," rather than Skinner.
Just peels his skin.
Fillets all of Bart's skin off his body. This is a good-looking episode.
Yep, damn right. Yep. And so he just gets thrown into class skinless. He just takes a seat in the back. And the teacher's like, well, okay, kids, if someone was to rob a bank and they were to go to hell, how should they be tortured?
Yeah.
And then it's like, or how should they be punished? And it's a couple of dipshits that have no good answer. And then Bart is like, hey, how about you just make them eat money till they explode?
Yeah, that's what she was looking for. Like,
Something
like
a little more,
ironic punishment. Yep.
Yep. So, and she's like, good job. What's your name? And he's doing well. And like, he has a line where it's like I actually like Hell School. I've never had a crush on a teacher before. And that teacher looks at him like, down here, we can make that happen. Like,
and
Jesus
it cuts away very quickly.
Christ.
But I liked that joke.
Bart's 10.
And down here, we can make that happen. Jesus.
And so Bart's enjoying it, but then Lisa's like, comes up to him. It's like, hey Bart, I found a portal back to Earth. And Bart's like, okay. And he's like, this one? He's like, no, that's super hell. And he pulls out hot stuff. Just insane. Hot stuff around. Hot stuff is a character from the Harvey Comics Richie Rich empire.
Yep.
And it's like, were you there for being extra evil? It's like, no, they're punishing me because my comics aren't good.
And he shows him the cover of one, and it's him in a half-melted igloo with like an angry Eskimo standing over him, and he's like, I melted the igloo. Get it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I legit, as soon as Hot Stuff showed up, I went, Nathan! One for Nathan!
I couldn't fucking, like, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a reference.
Who were the other two? Casper and Richie Rich?
Richie Rich. Wendy the Good Witch.
Wendy the Good Witch is
and
the
Baby
one.
Huey was part of that family,
right.
too.
The duck is Baby
the
Huey.
The
a
big,
duck?
giant duck that sits on shit and ruins it.
Yep.
Yeah. What a fucking idea.
You should get deep into collecting Harvey comics.
Yeah, like original appearance of Wendy the Good Witch. I feel like there might be one more of the big hitters.
This is my graded Hot Stuff number one.
Yeah. It's the first time Casper floats. Did you care to look at it? No? Okay. Rain check? No. So,
this Tinder date is just I'm
she's
gonna
like recoiling in from me, like pushing herself across the floor. Like, no. I'd have even taken out of the Mylar bag.
Oh, don't say Mylar.
Yeah. Bags and backers, you got to protect them. Oh well, let a fish in the sea. So Lisa and Bart end up back on Earth, and that's when Bart is like, tells Marge and Homer, I want to be transferred to Hell School. Or it doesn't say that. It's like, I found a school where I can thrive.
Yeah.
And Marge and Homer go there, and it's the two-headed Skinner Chalmers demon, and they're like, well, he is doing very well here. Marge, very skeptical.
Yeah.
As one should be.
Yeah.
Because your kid is going to hell. But they convince, I like when Homer rips up that pamphlet, because this school's gonna be too expensive, and it puts itself back together and shoves itself down his throat. Like, that was a good
choking the shit out of him there in the office.
But Marge accepts, and God damn it, if everything doesn't come to pass though, like with flying colors, Bart gets straight A's, we see in his report card, he even graduates from that goddamn school. And in the meantime, Homer has been there, but he's basically just been a torture fucking. So he's in pieces during the graduation process.
Because that was Bart's final exam, is to torment Homer.
And
Homer's he volunteers. No, go ahead, boy. With
a Morning Star, I think. We don't see it. They cut away in time. Because it's like him in the stand holding his own head. Like, that's mine right there.
Yeah, on a St. John's cross? Is that what you call that? The X cross? I
really liked this.
It's great.
Of the three.
This is a great episode. I really like the joke. I think they linger on it too long and ruin it a little. But that the portal from hell leads to Burns' office. That's where the portal is.
He somehow has rights to it. I'm sure he's making money off of it.
Yeah. And he has some speech like a pilot, the local time is,
that was a good thing for them to add on there. Our second one is A Clockwork Yellow. Moe leads a Clockwork Orange style gang. Is it Homer, Lenny and Carl, is that the whole gang? Yeah.
Yep.
We don't get Barney. I think it's just the 4 of them.
Nope, just the 4.
And they do typical kind of Clockwork Orange style hooliganism.
Yeah.
Raising hell, this
Droog
and that.
shit.
Yep.
Droog? Is it Droogs?
Droogs, yep. Droog.
I saw that movie once, like
Me too.
15 years ago, and didn't like it.
Yep, me either. Like, yeah. But one of the Droogs, who is Homer, falls for a woman who is Marge, and gives it, kind of just lets him know, hey, I'm getting out of this life. She thinks I can get a job doing this. And Moe's taken aback by this. And now without Homer, Lenny and Carl are kind of like, this isn't really even a gang anymore.
Yeah.
So Moe you can't be a Droog of one. You got to have a team of Droogs. So what does he do? Takes up bartending. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yep.
Yeah, he's working like, and it has the same aesthetic, whatever bar he's at. He's still got his apron on and shit. So like, again, Clockwork Orange doesn't do much for me, but like they capture the aesthetic well. Like they play with it a lot.
I thought the aesthetic for sure and the accents, but I haven't seen it in so long. I don't know what the fuck that movie is about.
Yeah, neither.
Other than like failed criminal reform.
Yeah.
You know,
like the fucking cut to Moe with like the forceps holding his eyes open, like the iconic scene in the movie. It's so fucking forced. This is what I have to do to watch network television. It's like, oh God, you're just shoehorning it in there so badly. It's like,
but at least they kind of save it by it being Fox that he's watching. True, yeah. So it's like, okay, congratulations, you got back to okay.
What I liked is that they all drink Duff milk. Because that was a thing from that. They all drink milk in a Clockwork Orange. I have a buddy. I can't believe I didn't think of this stuff. A friend of mine's, they now are divorced, but they were married for years. A buddy of mine's dad, his first date with his mom, took her out to the movies. Mm-hmm. And that movie, Clockwork Orange.
Oh, on the first date.
Yeah, first date.
That's a good first date movie.
Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange, for those that are unaware, rough stuff at times, very rough stuff, especially for women.
Yep.
And it was in rural Minnesota. The one screen. It's not like not like his 16-year-old dad was a movie aficionado. Like, that's what you do. You go on a date. You go to the movie. Yeah. So she walked out like 20 minutes in, and the rest of the date was him idling beside her, like in the family sprayer pickup. Like, hey, just get in the car. Like, I didn't know the movie was going to be like that. Like, it's so good.
I'm not one of them English fellas.
Yeah, I don't even wear eyeliner.
You want to go? I can start if you want.
Is that what you want me to put on some eyeliner?
Go to the Tasty Freeze. How do I save this?
Yeah. What can I do to make this?
He clearly did.
Yeah, fucking
like maybe the second date.
Cranked out like 4 kids, married for 30 odd years.
Huh. Must have figured it out.
So Moe is living a non-Droog life and just fucking getting by like everyone does until the goddamn kid bullies are also a Droog gang.
Yeah.
Then
this is years later. Moe's an old man now. Yep.
And they break into his house, just like there's a very rough home invasion scene in Clockwork Orange. They get in there and kick the shit out of him. They like beat him up with that shit. It's like schloop or sloop.
Something like that. I didn't get the reference.
It's a fucking character from the goddamn Space Ghost cartoon from the comic relief in the 70s and 80s. Space Ghost they make a noise like that. Like,
okay, sure. Yeah.
Like, and that's what they like cave his skull in with. So he gets the shit kicked out of him. He's like, this will not stand. I got to get the boys back together. So he finds Homer and he's able to convince Homer, hey, one last night of, the ultra violence. And then Lenny and Carl are cops, and they're about to put the boots to him. And they're like, okay, well, what? Yeah, we can do that. So the gang is back together. And then that's where it makes no fucking sense. They don't even go after the kid bullies. They go to a fucking a sex party led by fucking Burns and Smithers. And it's Eyes Wide Shut. It's like everyone's got masks. It's everything super secretive. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then we get a scene. Now we're just going to do fucking Kubrick movies.
Yep.
Because one of them looks in a bathroom and there's Private Pile with the rifle on the toilet. Like, oh shit, that's fucking a Full Metal Jacket. We get goddamn Barry Lyndon references.
That must be the one that
Where comic book guy gets shot.
Okay.
Yeah, where he's wearing like 1800s or 1700s era clothing. That's got to be Barry Lyndon.
Because he even says, not even I get this reference.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's funny no matter what it is.
And then there's a 2001, we get the gorilla.
Yeah,
Like,
Homer pulls Mel's bone out of his head and is going to club him with it.
Yeah.
But then, like, it's a trick of perspective thing. He sees the obelisk, but then it zooms back further and it's a guy going, oh, there's my iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, so it's all perspective trick.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun.
And then we just get fucking Kubrick in like the editing fucking room.
Yeah.
Him throwing the pen in the air like the bone. And
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that.
And then it hitting and him just looking into the camera.
For too long.
Yeah. Right away I was like, I don't like this because fucking Clockwork Oranges, but like just they fucking went for it. It got so off the rails. So I guess E for effort, you know. Like,
yeah, like I think it was fine, all said and done. Like you said, they got the look of Clockwork, right? Even if I don't love Clockwork, I do love I like that aesthetic quite a bit. And then the Kubrick reference. Once they showed up and it was the orgy, I was like, oh, we're just gonna do Kubrick.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. No Shining reference, which I thought was an odd choice, but okay. Unless I missed it.
Or was there a oh my god, a Dr. Strangelove reference?
No,
that I
not one of
missed?
those either. But I suppose you can't do them all.
Yeah.
Strangelove, easily my favorite of his.
God, yeah, I don't even know.
Like, to me, it's not even fucking close. Like, whatever is in second is such a distant
Oh, really?
second.
Oh, you don't like The Shining that much, huh?
It's fine. I think what I think of all of his movies.
Oh, and you're not a war movie guy to begin with.
Right. Every one of his movies, I'm like, boy, it sure looks good, but fuck me, his movies are so long and they're so up their own ass. Like, Strangelove at least is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, of all of his movies, it might be the only fun one.
Yeah.
Or you have to go back to before he became like an auteur.
Right.
He's one of those guys, too, that I think has like 3 or 4 movies early on in his career where that's like, is this canon? Like, do we consider this part or was he just a hired gun?
Oh, sure. One of those, yeah.
Our third and final is The Others, which it's kind of like the movie The Others. It's a haunted house story. We've had plenty of them.
I don't think I saw The Others.
It's okay. One of those movies that some people really fucking like, man, that's one of the best horror movies the last 20 years. It's fine. It's well done, I guess. Like very kind of almost like very Spanish, very European horror. Like if that makes sense. Real ornate house.
Sure.
Like, yeah. Like Guillermo del Toro's buddy could have made it.
Okay. Yep.
The Simpsons are haunted. I do like one of the very first things they realize things are amiss. The TV will only play Married to Children.
Yeah.
That was good. That's the kind of haunting I can get behind.
But like it has just tiny little differences because he flips through, and so like on the History Channel they're wearing old hats or something, and on the like he flips through the channels and Married with Children changes ever so slightly to match the channel.
Yep. It's like
and
Telemundo, they're like a Hispanic couple.
Yeah, and like the last one is sci-fi and it's a xenomorph
with some other random alien.
I think that might have been the Prometheus alien.
You think so?
The
really?
All white, kind of drippy. Yeah,
good call.
I was like, huh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And we kind of we don't get a lot of horror, like haunted house movies are a slow burn. We get this, we get that. Oh, is this it? But we get to the ghost real quick. It's the original Simpsons from like the 87 Tracy Ullman.
Which I thought was very funny.
I wonder if like Bart burping was because they laugh. It's like, why that's repetitive. Like, why are you burping? Like Lisa kind of calls him out on it.
Yeah,
like,
he must have before they gave that to Homer or Barney, really.
Yeah. So it's just them kind of like sizing each other. So you guys are haunting us, like you're us. And the thing that kind of gets the story going in the direction it will is old Marge comes on to Homer, like the original Marge. And Homer, it's weird when we do these treehouse because like Homer just goes with it. It's
right, and Homer would never.
Homer, not a philanderer. So Homer falls for older Marge, which angers current Marge. And how does Marge decide to deal with this, you ask? She fucking kills herself. God damn it, Marge, get some self-respect.
Well, if a ghost is what he wants,
I'll be a ghost for him.
Yeah.
For that fucking bum. So she does. She becomes a ghost. So both new and old Marge are trying to woo Homer. There's a scene where he's in the bathtub and they both come out of the bubbles.
Yeah.
So that gets to be too much for him, having two ghosts that are all up in his business. Homer, he's a man that needs his freedom. What does he do? He kills himself so he can become a ghost too.
No, old Homer kills new Homer.
Really?
Clubs him with the toaster in the fucking bathtub.
What it is. You're right. Yeah.
Like making eyes at my wife and kills him.
You're wrong. You're right. I'm wrong, but he doesn't mind being a ghost.
Yeah, now he's okay.
Like,
I got two Marges. Yeah.
This leads to because now Lisa and Bart kill themselves too. Like, well, I don't want to be stuck with doing all the shit around here.
It's like that scene is so insane because like Bart jumps out the window and Lisa is like, well, I'm not going to get stuck doing all dealing with this. She jumps out the window. The camera pans to the outside of dead Lisa laying on the ground. Bart jumped to the tree limb, so he's fine. Yeah. And ghost Lisa being like, what the fuck, and like. Kills Bart with like an acorn, gets him to choke on it or something.
Steals his slingshot and shoots an acorn in his throat.
Yeah.
And then we see groundskeeper Willie carrying away the three bodies of and he's like, oh, gonna have stew meat for the winter.
Insane.
And then I think it's ghostly. It's like, well, how did Maggie die? And we just see the cut to Willie's eyes. Like, Jesus Christ, Willie is a baby murderer. Holy shit. Oh my God. And then, so now they're all ghosts. There's all sorts of fucking domestic disputes going on. And we get an appearance of goddamn Marvin Monroe.
Yeah.
In a minute. And then new Marge is like, wait, Marvin Monroe? Are you in heaven or are you dead? He's like stuck in some kind of half thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like just his ass showing out of the wall. Like
a reference to like he died on the show, but then showed up on the show.
Oh, really?
Like 15 seasons ago or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he showed up in a memoriam and somebody was like, and it was like, oh, I guess he's dead now, but then shows up in an episode. So the fandom is like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So this is them nodding at that, which I laughed at.
So they go, they talk to Marvin Monroe. He tries to work things out with them. And in the end, modern ghost Homer still loves modern ghost Marge. That's kind of what it breaks down to. They stick with they dance with the gals they came with.
Yeah. And they're all dead.
Yep. One thing I always forget, fucking OG Homer, like from this early Simpsons, that was just a Walter Matthau ripoff voice.
Oh, sure.
Listen to Walter Matthau. That is exactly the voice they were going for.
How do you leave off the best part of this episode, which is way at the end, Lisa going, well, isn't this... If we can have alternate versions of ourselves, then isn't this dangerous that some corporation's going to just make whatever?
Oh my God. The fucking cavalcade of random ass Simpsons.
Insane. Like Pixar Simpsons come bursting
First
through the door, followed immediately by anime Simpsons, which I am super into.
The Minions one was
Minion
good too.
Simpsons, the Lego ones that we just saw a bit ago.
They're kind of in the background.
Yep. There's Adventure Time Simpsons.
Well, they're one of the first ones.
And Archer Simpsons and South Park Simpsons.
Yeah. The South Park Simpsons was weird. I don't think they captured that well.
I didn't get it right away until I saw, I think Maggie has the split face like Ike does.
You're right.
And
she
I was
totally
like,
does.
oh, South Park. Okay.
Yeah, because I guess the baby did too.
Yeah.
Who has the baby in the South Park? Is it?
That's Ike, Kyle's little brother.
I couldn't think if it was Kyle or Stan. Yeah.
Because he's Canadian. Canadians have the split faces. I loved the look of Archer Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like,
that was an interesting choice to include.
And I have watched so fucking much Archer that I immediately was like, holy shit, they did Archer Simpsons. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So who's all part of the Archer Simpsons? It's who's who?
Homer is Sterling.
Yep.
Marge is Lana. Boy, I'm trying to remember.
Is that it?
I think the whole family's there. I could be wrong, but I think so. I think maybe Lisa and I'd have to look it up again, but off the top of my head, I think Lisa and Maggie are Pam and Cheryl, and Bart is Cyril.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong.
But yeah, that was and like had to have been some work to put that together because like some of it's like CGI animation, some of it's traditional. Like,
I was like, that's super funny.
Yeah, the fucking Minions ones looked like the Minions.
Especially think of like how much fiction right now is tied up in multiverse shit. Like, okay, Simpsons were here 8 fucking years ago, I guess.
So yeah, that was, man, this was a good treehouse.
This is a great treehouse. I like this one a lot.
We deserved it. We've had some pretty average treehouses for quite a while.
Agreed.
Yep. And again, I mean, the laughs were fine, but like we got some real gore. Yeah, which we haven't had.
That Hell one's outstanding. That Hell School one. So, I was into this.
So yeah, this was well done, Simpsons.
You did it.
You did it. You know what else? We did it.
We did it. And we're going to do it again next week.
Fuck yeah, we will.
Because I guess we'll.
Well, we can't. Guess. Why stop now? Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. The fuck train's got no brakes.
Jesus, that's not what you want. You don't want to hear that when you hear someone struggling to get into your hotel tonight. Room service?
The fuck train's got no brakes.
No, dog. Holy shit, hearing that in the dark in a hotel room. Or which is the one that has the door right to the outside?
Motel.
A motel. Hearing that as someone's struggling to get into your door. Fuck train ain't got no brakes. Oh, boy. Hope he doesn't just throw a brick through that 5x7 picture window we've decided these hotel rooms gotta have. Have you ever once been in a motel? Thought, God, I wish I had a good view of the lot.
Right. Yeah. Just drywall it up, baby.
Right.
We don't need no window.
Bars.
Yeah, absolutely. Put bars on the doors.
Yeah, everything. Jesus Christ. God, I've been laying in a fucking motel bed before. I hear some drunk fucking pile into the wall or the door. Like, oh boy, hope I remember to latch it.
Oh God.
Oh.
But we'll do this again next week. Episodes 5 through 9 of season 26 of The Simpsons.
Look at that, 26.
We're doing it. We're catch this show, Nathan. And
I noticed.
Then what? Then we're fucked.
Yeah, I noticed that like, a lot of these TV shows aren't like what I look at like, oh, what happened in this season of TV? We're getting to where it's like, oh, eventually it's going to be all shit that's still on the air.
Yeah, we're there with a lot of it right now. Yeah. A lot of it's still on, but we're still here. We're still plugging away.
Right. Yep.
Good to see you, bud.
You too. Did it.
Yeah. We will see you next week. barleybasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address. @barleybasketUSA on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 5 through 9 for next week, and we'll see you then.
Bye, everybody.